15-1 team. So the 15-1 team is not iconic.
They
Yeah,
haven't won
Brett
it.
Favre was a part of.
No, the
But
Raiders.
no. Hold on. Yes, they are iconic
No, they
because
was 13-3. 13
they
3, my bad.
the Randall Cunningham and Dante Culpepper Vikings that went 15-1. They are iconic because they broke a points record.
Right.
That would give them a consideration of being an iconic team. They were one of the high, like the greatest show on turf, even though they did win a championship. The
They have the
Rams,
best record in NFC history. It's only been in we've never had a undefeated team on the NFC. They both came from the AFC. So 15-1 is the best record in the NFC. They're the only, they did it once, and who else had was 15-1?
bro,
Did it.
bro.
The Vikings did it.
So we are giving everybody credit for having one good season. And
no. That's bro. They had the most points ever scored in the NFL history at that time, bro. That's their iconic team.
Broncos being an iconic team with Peyton Manning.
You said the Broncos?
No.
The one that you talking about,
They went to 2 Super Bowls back to
they
back.
lost to Seattle. That's
They
not an
went
iconic team.
Bruh, no.
Well, the
It's
Wizards
not.
won their championship, so why they even
Exactly.
being with the losers?
The Broncos won a championship too.
Huh?
The Broncos won a championship too.
That's not an iconic team with Peyton Manning when he was with them. And Von Miller.
No.
And Von
Who
Miller.
the hell is talking about the Broncos from there now? Nobody.
You said whoa. Peyton Manning is a Hall of Fame player, right?
Yes.
Right.
All of those years that he didn't win with the Colts, that Tom Brady was winning the championship and Peyton Manning wasn't going, you still don't think that Colts team is iconic?
The Colts team, yes.
That
Because
didn't
they
win
got
no
Hall
ring?
of Famers. They got their championship. They got all of the accolades around it.
So only the team that won the championship is iconic for the Colts. Not the
No.
team that went 9 years in a row without losing the game the first 3 months of football.
That is the team. That's what I'm saying. That's the team. So what I'm saying is I'm not separating it from year. That's the team. That's the Peyton Manning team when they was winning all back to back. That's an iconic team. What I'm saying is that if you win one season or are good for 2 seasons, that don't make you an iconic team.
It kind of do, man. The Tennessee Titans and the Music City Miracle.
That's what I'm saying. So you could have iconic. My thing is this: you could have iconic moments, right? Iconic certain thing, and you cannot be an iconic team. If you had an iconic season, you are an iconic team. To me, you had an iconic moment, you're an iconic team because people gonna remember that moment. The Raiders, the immaculate catch, they on the other side of it. Are they not iconic?
With the Raiders?
Yeah, from the 70s that didn't catch that. Remember the immaculate catch?
That was the Steelers.
The Steelers caught it, but the Raiders were playing. That's who they were playing against.
Yeah, but didn't
So
the Raiders also
they were playing against iconic for the moment?
Didn't the Raiders at that time also have Marcus Allen, which is an iconic player?
No, they didn't have Marcus Allen at that time. No, he didn't play in 78.
No, they had the Stickum dude.
Stickum dude. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
We had Jim Plunkett in them. That was their quarterback.
Is that Raiders team iconic?
John Madden. Matter of fact, John Madden. He was coaching.
Hold on, Jim Plunkett ain't that the team who won the Super Bowl?
John Madden.
Didn't they win the Super Bowl
as a coach?
Yes, he is.
With Plunkett? Didn't they win the Super Bowl with Plunkett?
They won with Plunkett.
Yeah.
Plunkett beat
maybe,
us.
Yeah, you could
He
probably
beat us.
say that.
He beat us when Marcus Allen ran all over us.
Me personally,
I was about to say, I didn't want to bring that up because it's a gut wrenching memory.
Yeah,
I wasn't even born then, but to even watch that, it hurt. So yeah.
Yeah, I watched that joint. We threw the interception right before the half. Joe Gibbs, what you doing on your own sideline? That's what blew the game open for real. But we ain't gonna talk about that Super Bowl, man. That Super Bowl, man. All I'm saying is
Buffalo Bills 4 Super Bowls in a row. They not iconic,
right?
Yes,
right.
They are.
Why they didn't win?
They
because
didn't win, but you gonna say the Bullets who won, they ain't iconic.
they
That's
only went
crazy.
twice. They went 4 times, bro. They was the best team in the
They
AFC.
never
Is
won.
that one win worth them 4 times? I think the one win trump all
That
four of
is a
them.
AFC dynasty, is what you
The
talking
one
about.
win trump all four of them to me.
Listen, they are an AFC dynasty. How many AFC dynasties are there?
It's a couple. The Chiefs, early in, they probably was a dynasty.
Dolphins.
The Dolphins,
I was about to say the Dolphins with Dan Marino.
the Steelers
Don
was a
Shula. He was before that.
was yeah, the Steelers was a
Yep, true.
dynasty.
Yep.
Colts, Johnny Unitas and them was a dynasty.
No, United was not a dynasty.
Yeah, they was a dynasty. They went to two Super Bowl. Probably should have went to 5.
But that's not a dynasty. Dynasty
They
is
were
3
a
or better,
dynasty.
right?
How you win two Super Bowls? You ain't a dynasty.
Because the dynasty is 3 or
And
better.
they lost one. And they lost one to the Jets. Remember the guarantee that was against them.
So what? So what's considered a dynasty? Is dynasty not 3 years or better?
But bro, I
I
mean
think you can.
No, I thought it
You
was
said
two.
hold on,
I thought it was
real
two.
quick. You said that after 2 they wasn't a dynasty, but they won 2. We talking about the Buffalo Bills who went to 4 and didn't win any.
Right. That's what I'm saying. One,
Who
do
won
you think
2?
if you ask the Buffalo Bills,
What
would
I
y'all
said, the
trade in
Raiders.
all 4 of them trips for one trip and a win? They would. What you think they'd say?
I mean, yeah, they gonna say the win, of course.
So that one win for the Wizards, Trump, they 4 times gone.
Bruh.
Do it not. This by you. Hey, you just admitted.
The Bills would trade, but the Bills would trade any one of those losses for a win if they could.
Thank you. They
I
would
agree.
trade all 4 trips for one win.
I agree. But what I'm talking about in the 1970s, right, were the Bullets a staple franchise in the NBA?
In late 70s, yeah. How
Out,
they not a staple if they won with the 2 straight championships?
outside of the 2 years that the Bad Boy Pistons got their ring, if you go look at it, they weren't in the conference finals like that in the playoffs every year. So are we going to say that they weren't an iconic team because they didn't win outside of the 2 years that they went to the championship?
Right.
I don't know, man. Y'all can believe what y'all want to believe.
I'm
and I'm
asking. You didn't answer. Are the
My
Detroit
answer
Pistons?
my answer is this: the Bullets wasn't that good in throughout the 70s. They only got good at 77. They was only good to 79, which doesn't make them an iconic franchise.
So
I'm sorry.
how many championships do the Detroit Pistons have in the
The Detroit
80s?
Pistons was good for the whole time Isaiah Thomas was there.
How many times did they go to the Eastern Conference Finals?
What, 3 times? 4?
That definitely didn't go 4 times.
3?
I don't think they ever went.
No, I think they went twice,
Outside of the
if
years
that.
that they went to
They
the
won
Twice.
the
finals,
championship, so you got to count that.
I'm talking about when
that's
they
the
win.
only 2
That's what I'm
years.
talking about. That's the only time they win.
I'll look again, but I believe.
And still, you talking about a back-to-back champion.
That's
You're
what I
not
was
talking
trying to
about
say.
somebody that was good one year and then
But
lost the next
Wizards,
year and never went back.
The Wizards went back to back. They just lost the next year, like Seattle did
That's
when
what
they
I'm
went
saying.
to the
You
Legion of
won one
Boom.
year,
they went the first year, lost, and went back
right,
and won.
and then
Okay,
never
so
went
is the
back.
Legion of Boom is the Legion of Boom not an iconic team?
That's true.
They essentially did the same thing the Wizards
Mm-hmm.
did.
Bruh,
Seattle was trash every year
they weren't trash every year. They went to the playoffs
that,
every year.
and every year before that, as far as going to like that. So outside of those 2 years that they went back to back, when has
They,
Seattle been back to the conference championship? Because
they
if the
were a
Legion of Boom is
playoff
iconic,
team
how is the
every
Wizards not?
year. They were still a good team, in what I'm saying. And the Wizards wasn't. I mean, the Bullets wasn't.
Not well.
Yes, I am.
I
Initially,
mean,
they
just being
was after
real.
when
I'm a
Wes
Wizards
Unseld
fan.
after he retired. They was good pretty much his whole career, but after he retired, like any other team, you lose your superstar, and it
I,
takes some years to
I'm a
get another one.
I'm a Wizards fan, bro. What I'm saying is that when I look at it, I'm calling a spade a spade. If you're good for 2 years, that makes you a really good team. That doesn't make you have a. Don't get me wrong. You might have an iconic player, Like the 76ers had an iconic player with Allen Iverson. Doesn't mean they're an iconic team.
But
They
it's
went to the
different than football. You might have a
yeah.
running back that
Ain't
have an
nobody talking
iconic
about
season, so
ain't nobody talking
you're
about the
gonna
76ers from what I mean, like ain't nobody saying that they
you
about to
gonna
be one of the greats or one of the goats. They just saying it was a
you
good team.
that's like saying that the team that help a running back get to 2,000 yards or the line that help him get to 2,000 yards, that's that he's not a part of that. So he did the running back did it all by himself for them two
No, no,
years.
that's not what I'm
One
saying.
year he had
Not what I'm
2,000, next year
saying.
he had
Not what I'm
1,500.
saying.
That's the
There,
team.
there, there are players that stand out. Like the Detroit Lions had Barry
But
Sanders, who was
your
an
line helped you
iconic
get there
player, bro.
though. It's different from basketball. Basketball is different. Yeah, obviously can change the team, but it's different than football.
All right, well, Barry Sanders.
That's the only
Barry
name you can put
Sanders.
out there. Every
Huh?
argument everybody got, that's the only name you use. Give me somebody else.
You just know you asked me to give you somebody.
He
I
ain't
That's
gave
do
the
you
only
Barry
name
Sanders.
everybody ever uses is
not
Barry
like
Sanders.
that.
Everybody
He
knows
had
Barry
no
Sanders.
blockers out there.
That's
Y'all
one
act like
man.
Murray ain't had no
That's
blockers.
one man, bruh.
He just started the playoff with nobody in front, just one lineman, the dude hiking it. That's it. That's what y'all act like when it comes to Murray. Like
Hey,
he ain't
bro,
had nobody. He just ain't nobody went out there.
his line, bro. He had one lineman, bro. One.
No, he had five linemen. They just wasn't good ones, but he had five linemen. Let's
No,
not
no.
stop. Let's stop the
See,
madness.
see. Y'all giving passes, man. Y'all giving too many
He had
passes.
five linemen.
Y'all giving way too many passes.
You know. All right,
I'm not
man.
giving past.
What we want to do today is go back over. Take this time out to go back over some of the interviews. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? All the interviews that's going down. Again, we going back to the name change. Vito,
That's my iPad.
what was your thoughts on the name change?
Who me?
Both of y'all. What y'all thoughts is on the name change?
Oh, honestly,
That's been
I
big
only
story.
want to change. I only want to change if they're going to do right by the name. If they're not going to do right by the name, if they're going to do even more goofier stuff than what they've been doing here lately, as of late, don't even jump in that field and get people emotions riled up about this thing because people already got it. It's already a hard blow to the core right now, to be honest. And for y'all to open this wound back up, you better when you open it back up, you better be ready to laser every little infection up out of there and sew it back up and heal good. I'm so serious. You know what I'm
Y'all,
saying? Because I'm
y'all can
I'm
hear me?
I'm over here. I'm one of them people that's behind it. Like uh, I want to smack somebody behind this name for real. I do not like it. I don't like nothing about it. Yeah. So if they do it, they better do it right. That's all I'm gonna say.
What you got on it, Vito? Name change.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, absolutely despicable. Suffering succotash, like Daffy Duck used to say. And we have been suffering, like having to eat succotash, just like Daffy Duck. Um, if you ask me, and don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Redskin name. I grew up on it. It was everything to me. Again, for a very long time, I felt like there were no other teams in the NFL aside from the Cowboys because you needed that for Cowboys and Westerns, and everybody else was playing the Redskins. The whole NFL was to watch the Redskins, and everybody else played against us. That's how I looked at it. And to take that away, it's been very disappointing. The fan base has reacted to it several ways and several different ways and several different times, and it hasn't gotten the response that they would like as far as the Commanders. I don't think any of us responded well when we all heard the name. We all were in disgust with it. Fans have let every outlet that they could know how they felt about it, and I believe that the NFL has to do something about that if they want that product. Or Josh Harris, if he can, needs to do something about that if they want the product of Washington football to return to some level of just some level of respect. I don't think the name is respected in this area. I don't even think it's a name that this area, especially being the capital of the United States of America, should have. With black athletes playing in the NFL today, I think it's even more insidious to even think that we'd actually have to think about them changing a name from something that oppressed no one and went against no people to a name of oppressive people or people that would have made us feel like we were being oppressed against. And I don't know how it's lasted this long. One of the worst things Daniel Snyder probably ever did with the team, probably even beats over signing Albert Hainsworth. Um, and if anything, if you can't get it back to the Redskins, which I would love, I would take the Washington football team. I was getting used to that. I would have rather that than the Commanders any day.
That's what I said earlier, bro. I said that the thing about it is that if you change the name, people gotta like it. Not to cut you off, but people gotta like it. I was like the
No, no,
Washington
no.
football team.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Washington football team. People seem to like the Commanders. Is such a bad name because nobody likes the name. It makes it even worse for them
Right.
to even have to be, for us to even have to refer to them as the Commanders.
And
So
then what is
I
your
think that
mascot?
it's a white man. It's a white man in an army suit.
No, no. Is it? Is it? I don't. I haven't even seen the
No,
mascot.
no, the mascot is a pig. Actually, looks
So,
like a hawk.
so, so, so does anybody just gonna sit here and act like symbolism doesn't mean anything?
No, no, no. I agree. It's bullshit. You know what I mean? But
Like you have a pig.
but
The
I'm just
name
calling.
is Commander, and you have a pig as your mascot.
Yeah,
And
The
his name
symbolism
is
today is
Tuddy
that
Duddy.
was
crazy.
that was what
His
Dan Snyder
name is
said. Fuck it, I
Tuddy
don't care.
Duddy. Over all things, his name is Tuddy Duddy to add to it. Like, come on, man.
That
Yeah,
is funny.
that's what Dan Snyder said. You know what? I'm done. I don't care no more. Y'all can do what y'all want.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if that name came out back in the '80s, you know how we was as kids. We was beating up mascots. Go to Chuck E. Cheese, beat up on Chucky. It would have went down. It would have
Yeah.
went down. It's just a different damn time now.
You trying to say Commander would have got stomped out, huh?
Yeah.
He'd have got stomped out, bruh. That came out in the '80s. They changed his name in the '80s. He got stomped out. No question.
Yeah, I think it's all. I think the whole thing is ridiculous. I think that what's his name, Jason Wright. He deserves a lot of what word I want to use. He deserves a lot of backlash for the horrible everything he did in regards to this name. Like Jason Wright has really been horrible in regards to this name change thing. Like he's just really been bad. So I think he should have been fired personally.
Yep.
I don't know why he's still there. I don't know what he's supposed to be doing. I don't be advocating for a brother to lose his job. I don't mean to be doing that. If that's what I'm doing, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But this Jason Wright character, I don't know how you doing it. I mean, what is his title? I mean, what is he? I mean, he ain't the GM. He don't have no control over player
He,
personnel. He don't
I
have
thought he
no
was vice
control.
president.
Oh, he's the vice president of the team.
That's what I thought he was.
So what does he do?
Let me look it up. Let me not be just spewing lies out there. Let me make sure of that.
And I
Yeah,
also got some interesting information for you, Leo, when you get a chance, when everybody got a second, about the bullets, sir.
yeah. So
Go
this
ahead,
Jason,
whatever. Look, I'm okay whenever.
this Jason Wright character, I
All right.
mean, I
So
just
for
go
a
ahead.
hot second, for all y'all to know, in 1974, 75 season, the Bullets was 60-22, which was first place. 75-76, the Bullets was second place. 76-77, the Bullets was 48-34. They was second place. 77-78, they was 44-38. They was second place. 78-79, they was 54-28. They was first place. In 79-80, they was 39-43. They was third place. They was fourth place after that. Fourth place. They started going down after the two back-to-back years, but they were good for 7 years, bro. In
Bruh,
the
that's
70s.
iconic, bruh. The Bullets is iconic.
Okay, if that's
Like
what.
first and second for four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row.
That that's fine. All of those years
Before,
that they was
hold on, before that, in 73, 74, 72, 73, 71, 72, 70, 70 to 71, they was first place every year.
they didn't win no championships those years.
And hold up, bro. Hold
They,
up. Let me
the
add to
They
that.
Seattle
were
Seahawks, the
Hold
Buffalo
on. The
Bills
years
didn't
that
win
Gilbert,
no Super Bowls, Leo.
they were a consistently good team, right?
bro,
Yes,
But
just like the
the years
Buffalo
that Gilbert
Bills.
was there.
talk about
Hold up. The
Buffalo.
years that Gilbert was there, wasn't he
Because
there? What?
Buffalo was
2013 to
good for 4
14, right?
years and didn't win nothing.
You say what?
I said it wasn't Gilbert there 2013 with the Wizards and left in 2018.
That don't mean shit. He didn't do
No, he left
nothing.
in 20. No, listen, just answer the question. Did he leave in 2018, right?
I guess.
They went to the playoffs 4 times out of 5 years he was there. That team wasn't iconic.
Look, we ain't
No,
monkey
No,
for no damn
no,
Gilbert Arenas
no,
on
no.
no.
it.
They didn't
Oh,
never go
come
to the
on, man.
championship, Big Son. They ain't there go to. They was getting put out in the first round
Right,
against Braun. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So no, they weren't iconic. They
They
had good
Oh, no, they
wasn't.
seasons.
wasn't. I'm looking at it right now. They get put out the first round all the time. I'm looking at it right now.
Second round, they never made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, bro.
Right.
They never did that. You can look
They
that up
swept
all
the
you want
Raptors in
to.
2014, swept the Raptors, then lost to the Hawks.
I got a
Yes,
They
question.
lost to
Cavaliers the next
Bulls.
year.
When you think about 70s basketball, do you think about the Bullets?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. Why are you not thinking about them? Did you just, not just hit a
Wes
record?
Unseld, even though a bum executive, was one of the better big men in the NBA in the East.
I agree.
He absolutely was.
Do you see their record? Did you hear what I said their record was, bro? They were first in their division for like 6 to 7 to 8 years in a row.
All those years, didn't the Celtics just about win the championship?
There was only 2 teams winning the championship for almost 25 years of basketball, bro. There was barely anybody else winning any other year. That's why they got so many championships.
But what I'm saying is that because they ran the 70s.
But
Oh, you
you're
know
not
what?
about to
Y'all
say that
right.
there's no more
Correction,
iconic
correction. Y'all
teams in
right.
the NBA during that time because they wasn't winning the championship. Just like the
They,
Buffalo Bills are an iconic team for going 4 years in a row. But if you never win, you were just the best of the bums. What do you? I don't get what we saying here.
I can agree with that though.
The AFC didn't get a championship for like 5 or 6 years. The NFC was crushing shit. It didn't matter who won. If the Bills didn't go to the championship, who was going to beat the Giants, the Cowboys, or the Redskins
No,
during those?
yeah, no. Back
Nobody.
then,
Nobody.
they won 17 straight. The NFC won 17 straight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like nobody from the AFC was even
Yeah.
worthy to beat nobody from the NFC. So technically, you're giving a dynasty to the best of the sorry teams.
Uh,
Yeah. The NFC won 17 straight from 80, I think 83. When the Raiders were the last ones who won it. I think 84 to the Broncos, the 90s Broncos. So
This new basketball and football that we got now in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, all this with the new owners, David Stearns and the Adam Silvers, we're now getting where newer teams are starting to win championships. Before this, you barely had other teams winning championships outside of the notable teams. The Steelers were running stuff. The Cowboys are fairly a new franchise within, let's saying that they're 50 years in. All right. The Cowboys are essentially new, so their winning comes from them winning and being a new franchise and winning as much as they did. Similar to like if we look fast forward and say when the Ravens got created in Baltimore and how many championships they won since they've been in the league. Or i.e. like the Chiefs or the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? How fast they got their rings, you would look at them and say, okay, this is a dynasty for this era. But there are other teams that broke records and had crazy teams like the rosters, their total overall accomplishments and stuff like that are iconic. The Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis only got what, 2 Super Bowls in his whole career, and he got one at the beginning and one almost at the complete end of his career. So they not back to back or nothing like that. But the defense that Ray Lewis was with, the first season they had with Kerry Collins, is probably by far one of the best defenses to ever play football, bro. Over the steel curtain, even over Legion of Boom. Even though Legion of Boom probably had some more exciting plays, they barely let anybody score over 10 points that entire year, bro.
Yeah. And I'm aware. I'm aware. And the Legion of Boom, they gave up like 14 points or something like that.
Right.
You know?
So
I'm
I'm
just
saying
saying that
that first rate team would have been iconic because of what they did for over the entire NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, that might have just been one season, and yes, that might not make you an iconic team for having a good year. But if your good year breaks NFL records that have been broken for years, that has to at least be accounted for something. Because especially if it's not like AP getting the 2,000 yards, that don't go to Minnesota because Minnesota didn't have a lights out year. It wasn't everybody. It was AP that was going off. That's an iconic player. But OJ Simpson with the Buffalo Bills when they had nobody and he ran for almost 2,000 yards. That's OJ Simpson being an iconic player. I wouldn't give nothing to the
right,
Bills because their whole team was trash.
right.
Now, the Buffalo Bills, I'm in agreement with you to saying that that's an iconic team. What I'm saying to add to that is that you don't have to win a championship, i.e., like the Minnesota Vikings with Randy Moss and Chris Carter and Rod Smith, and the defense that they had that year was amazing. They even had Atlanta Falcons team with Dirty Bird, with Jamal Anderson, and all of them. In my opinion, that was an iconic team, but I don't think they did it for long enough. Minnesota was very consistent for a good amount of time. They just couldn't get a championship.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about I feel like when you got those iconic teams, right? My opinion. This is my opinion. Is that you have all of the other accolades to go along with it. Like a spot like a place like you said, like Buffalo. Buffalo is going to get the pass, in my opinion, only because, like I said, they literally ran the AFC for half a decade. You know what I mean? Going to the championship, not being a number one seed or none of that. No, getting there and getting to the championship and going to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. You are a damn good team, but not only are you a damn good team, you got Hall of Fame players, multiple. You got Jim Kelly, you got Thurman Thomas, you got Bruce Smith. You know what I mean? You got you, and the Bullets just don't have that. Not even from the 70s. And that's
Hey,
just how I
Leo,
look. That's what I'm saying with the iconicness of it is what is
Leo,
your legacy? And
Leo,
our
name
legacy,
one. Name two of Bill Russell's teammates.
I can't. I mean, it was old.
Yep, but you gonna tell me you want to say his team's not legendary or his team was iconic?
Definitely. But I can't tell you who the hell was legendary on that team.
All right, give me two bench players on the Larry Bird Boston team.
I can't. I was born in '86. You forgetting? I was
They were they
four.
were they were still good. They were still good after that.
I was four when the niggas retired.
You don't remember Michael Jordan?
Yeah, but I seen him play.
But you could go back to before that. I know you got the internet. The internet been around a long time.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna remember bench players, nigga.
What I'm saying is that sometimes, because somebody was saying, who was that player? What's his name? Uh, Randy Foy, Randy Foy.
Yeah.
I think
Now you
yeah,
ask me,
guard.
look,
No,
you asked
no,
me
no,
a
no.
bench player
I'm
on the
saying
Eagles, I know.
No, I was saying the little post about Jared Jack, and people were saying like if you look at Jared Jack numbers don't jump off the page. But if you go back and look at the games that he played and look at what he did during the game, Jared Jack is crushing a lot of people, like Monte Ellis before Steph Curry got there.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying, like if you just look at the numbers, Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups is one dog of a point guard. Look at his
I agree.
numbers. John Starks. John Stockton. Look at his numbers. Skinny white boy. You're gonna disrespect him. You get on the court with him, you're gonna realize that this is a whole problem.
But see,
The
because
numbers
John Stockton,
sometimes don't give it credit, and sometimes the big name doesn't always give credit for who's doing a lot of the work. If it
when you
wasn't
look
for
at
the
John
fact that
Stockton,
Dennis Rodman was
look at
changing
John
his
Stockton's.
appearance.
Listen, not only look at John Stockton's offensive numbers, look at his defensive numbers. Look how many steals he got. Look how much what else he done on the court. You know what I mean? Like the Jazz.
How many rings he got?
None. Because of Michael Jordan. And we all know this.
But
We all know this. That's why I
but
said the boom
Michael
was
Jordan doesn't stop the Utah Jazz from being an iconic team. That pick and roll is iconic, bruh. You don't have
yes,
to
it
win no
is.
rings.
It is.
You
It
don't got to
is.
win no rings when what you've done is something that nobody else has done, or you've done it to an exceedingly exceptional level. And like I
Yeah.
said, like Reggie Miller, like his that Reggie Miller is iconic. I don't think that the Pacers team is iconic. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
Chris Mullin part of that, what's the name? Part of the dream team, ain't
Yeah, but Chris Mullin was with the TMC with the Golden State Warriors.
he? He
Nah,
was with the
he was
Pacers
with the
too, right?
Pacers too, though.
Nah, no, that
He
was
played with the
Dennis
Pacers
Schroeder.
too.
And when later, the late Mullen, nobody counts that Chris Mullen, bro. Come on, guys.
They
I
was
count
going to
that.
the playoffs with that Chris Mullin.
That's
The,
what I'm
the,
saying. As
they were
generate.
already going to the playoffs. That was a late,
All right,
old added
I
Chris Mullen.
got you then. I got y'all. Age gap wise, the Bullets to me wouldn't be iconic. That's my age range. You know what I mean? So maybe I could be in wrong and saying they're not iconic at all. But I can say as far as my age range, when people my age, like my
But that's what
exact
I'm
age,
saying. I'm giving you examples of things that would be the same thing that they did, and if they're iconic, why would the Wizards? Why would the Bullets not be? If the Colts with Peyton Manning for 9 years in a row went 7-0 before they ever lost a game, 9 years in a row under Tony Dungy, 7-0 for 9 seasons in a row. That is iconic by itself because no one else has ever done that.
I
Not to
agree.
mention that their offense was fucking like that, pardon my French, for the time that Peyton Manning was at quarterback. And to start off 7-0, 9 seasons in a row is crazy, bruh.
It is.
All
It
right.
is.
And if
It
that
is.
makes you an iconic team, for the Washington Bullets to be in first place from 1970 until they went back to back in 1978 and 79, that's 9 years of consistency where the worst that they
They
did was
wasn't.
go
You said
third
they
in
wasn't
their
the first
division.
place. You said they was first place like 4 years. They was third
No, I
place a
just
couple
know
years.
that was when I was reading from 74. That's what I'm saying. I just went back and went to 1970 to 70-71 season. They were in first place for 4 or 5 years in a row. They didn't get to third place until 76 or something like that. To third place. Then they went back to first place or second place and went to the championship 2 years in a row.
So I
That's
got a question.
9 years.
I got a question. Are there any number one seeds left in the NBA playoffs right now?
The Boston Celtics, no. Yeah, Boston.
Boston, right? Now
Actually, yeah, Minnesota's still playing too. So both of them are.
man, Minnesota is never mind.
Minnesota's still playing.
All right. So listen, right now, if Boston wins one championship, just this one championship, are we gonna consider them an iconic team?
Why wouldn't you? They have two of the most expensive players
I was
in
about
the
to say.
NBA. They got two of the most point droppingest players outside of Jalen Brunson in the playoffs this offseason. And Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, outside of Jalen being able to not go left last year, have always been consistent their entire time being in the playoffs. Jason
Exactly.
Tatum
Yeah,
been
and
dunking
then
on
and then they
LeBron
win one
since Jason
together. Didn't
Tatum
they
dunked
win
on
one?
LeBron in that when LeBron was in Cleveland. Shawty been turned up and has played his part every single season. They have not
And
been any
and
lower than fifth in it since he's been in the league,
and did
and
they
that's
not
Right,
win
overall, not
one?
just in their
Didn't they
conference.
not win one?
right now, right now, we are not looking at them as an iconic team. Are we looking at them as an iconic team right now?
Who, the
Yes,
Celtics?
with what Derek White and Drew Holiday has
Yeah,
put
the
into their
Celtics we
team.
are. Yes, we are.
Yes, yes, bro.
I don't know.
If they
I,
win
Yeah,
a
I'm
championship, yes.
looking at them definitely like an iconic team. They have been in the
They've been
what's the
there for a
name
long
in the
time.
semifinals multiple times. Yeah,
They've been to the
yes sir,
finals, the Eastern Conference Finals. They've
I
been to
don't.
the regular finals.
and to the finals.
Yeah, so
I don't.
they iconic.
Listen, the iconic teams of today. What I look at the Warriors as an iconic team. I look at who else would be iconic in this era? The Heatles. Technically, that's still part of this era.
You said who?
The Heatles.
You said the Eagles.
Yeah, the Heatles. The Heat.
He talking
He's
about that
Miami Heat.
old LeBron James Heat team. He said
Yes.
that that's iconic, but the Kyrie Irving LeBron James ain't iconic.
How?
I,
They
I think it's iconic. He
How
went
many?
back to his home and did
He
it. If
got he
anything,
got a
that's
ring.
more iconic
That's
to
the
me.
only team in Cleveland with a ring.
that's what I'm. Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, yeah. I
In
mean,
in 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 supposedly the GOAT's hometown.
I
That's
will
gotta be
respect that.
iconic.
I will respect that. I will respect that answer right there. You're absolutely right. They are the only Cleveland team. I can definitely respect that. There,
And
but
it's in the GOAT hometown.
no, I get it. I get it. I get it. No, I definitely can agree with that. I can definitely say, okay, you could definitely consider them iconic. That was an iconic championship. It was an iconic time. Like you said, hometown player winning the championship for the hometown team, had been to the championship as well. But like for me, they were just on the cusp. They would be if it was a tier of iconic, they would be at the bottom of it.
they still don't matter whether you were.
It
But
still
the
don't
Bron
matter.
said Hall of Famer.
Iconic is
Still a
iconic.
Hall of
I,
Famer. You
no,
still a Hall of Famer.
it will be a D. Like iconic
So
scenes,
what?
right? A
So
to
what?
F.
Oh,
They
ho,
will be
ho, bro. You trying to tell me Earl Manigault and all them guys that was on the team back then, Moses Malone, all them guys? Come on, man. Come on, bro. And what they was doing together?
bruh. All I'm saying is that, like me personally, when I see a team, a really good team, finally win a championship, that's really good. I don't consider the Mavericks an iconic team.
What?
What Mavericks you talking about?
The ones that beat the Heat, it was an iconic year, but
Dirk
it's
Because Jason
Nowitzki is
Kidd,
Bruh,
Jason
Dirk
Kidd,
Dirk,
Dirk
oh my
Jason Kidd,
God.
Dirk,
Jason
Dirk
Terry,
Nowitzki is
all
the
of them,
best
bro.
7 foot
Come
shooter
on,
in
man.
NBA history.
yes, he's an icon, right? He's
He,
That
definitely an
team,
it,
they
icon.
had
it,
Jason Kidd. Their coach ran a free flow offense, which was never run in the NBA before, and they won a championship off of running on the fly basketball.
Hey, I respected it. It was a very good year, but
and
They
Dirk,
had
Dirk
Sean
Nowitzki
Bergen,
was Jokic before
Sean Bergen,
there
who's
was a
going to go
Jokic.
down in history, is shutting down LeBron in that finals. Regardless whether he's young, inexperienced or not, Sean Bergen is going to go down as one of the only players to absolutely shut LeBron down in the finals. And on top of that, they had Jason Kidd, who's a Hall of Famer. They had Dirk Nowitzki, who's a Hall of Famer. Like, what else did you want from them?
hey, when people talk about losing, right? When they talk about LeBron's losses, that's the first team they bring up because they don't respect that team as an iconic team.
right? I agree.
First team they bring up.
I don't think that that's the case. I think they don't bring up the San Antonio loss because he was the only person on his team. With the Dallas Mavericks, you had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. You have no excuse why that went that way. They called that. It's not because Dallas is the sorriest team. Because if that's the sorriest team and you had more help than you did with Cleveland, how did they beat the crap out of you? Because now I'm disregarding LeBron a lot more with that comment being said. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm just calling a spade. How I see it, not necessarily what is fact. It's just my opinion. This is all opinion based right here. My opinion.
So what is your opinion?
My opinion is that LeBron is great, but he's not even the greatest player right now. My opinion is Steph Curry
I'm,
is.
I mean, at 21 years in the league, there's no way you should be the best player in the league. I think
No,
that that's a
no. I said greatest. I didn't say best. I said the greatest player in the league right now. To me, it's Steph Curry. He got the same amount of championships as LeBron, and he changed the game, the whole game of basketball. That's iconic right there. That's status. That's elite icon status. And maybe that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about elite icon status,
but
not
it's only
necessarily
on
just
one side of
icon.
the basketball.
Huh?
It's only on one side of the basketball.
I don't care. They won 4 championships with his style, and the whole NBA
That
plays his style.
But you
Regardless if it's
said
one.
greatest player. You didn't say best disadvantage or something. Like you said greatest player. How are you
Right.
graded when you only have a disadvantage? When
Because
you
you
only have
changed the game, bruh. You changed the
Well,
whole
I don't know
game
if
of
he changed
basketball.
the game. what he did do, what he was running,
He got he
and
got
this
beat,
is
he
what
got
people
beat by
forget about.
LeBron. He got beat by LeBron in the oldest fashion of basketball. And the basketball that everybody says that he couldn't play in the 80s version, literally last year, that's how he beat the greatest player that you're talking about in
Hey,
his own game. He
hey,
literally let him shoot those jumpers and took them to the basket and shot 40 free throws in 3 games.
hey, listen, I'm not saying that LeBron isn't great.
No,
I'm
no,
not
I'm
saying
just saying that the greatest player and him went up against each other and he sent them home.
who won more championships against each other. Steph Curry.
Steph, yes.
Who, like I said, whose game are they playing right now? Are they playing LeBron James style of basketball, or are they playing Steph Curry style of
They're playing
basketball?
Michael
They're
Jordan's
playing.
situation. They're
They're
playing Michael
playing both.
Jordan's stat way because the Golden State Warriors run a triangle offense.
Well,
Period.
no, but I think
A
they actually
variation of it.
play.
Different. It's still a
Everybody plays LeBron's basketball, bro.
oh my
The
god.
only there's
I
on there's
disagree.
the hold on there's only maybe 4 or 5 teams that can stretch the floor like Steph Curry. So even though everybody wants to play that kind of basketball, not everybody is capable of that. But what every team does have is a point forward, or they have a player that is willing to set up the offense that is not traditionally your point guard. I'll give you an
I,
example. Minnesota uses Kyle Anderson. Miami uses Bam Adebayo. Denver uses Joker. LeBron is LeBron for the Lakers. If you go to Utah, they let
I'm just
fuck.
I just disagree. When I see spread basketball being played the way that it's being played, it looks like the Golden State Warriors version of
You
it
said
when they
spread
first
basketball.
the way that it's being played now.
It's the
Is that what you
triangle.
call it? You call it spread? The triangle's not spread basketball, y'all.
That's what they running. That's what
I
Golden State runs the triangle offense.
I
Golden
can't
State
No,
agree, but I'm
they
talking about
they don't run
I'm
the
of the,
talking
triangle
they
offense.
running a variation of the triangle.
they, they,
Believe
they are
me.
running a variation of it. But what I'm saying is that that's their offense, right? But the style of play that they're playing, the way that motherfuckers are shooting from half court and all that, that is a direct result of Steph Curry.
Who else is doing that, Leo?
Everybody,
No.
Dame Lillard,
Dame does that when the game is about to end. He does not do that throughout the entire game.
Trey.
Trey Young does that. I give you that, but he's not
I mean,
efficient at it.
I'm not saying that they are as efficient as the GOAT. He's the
No,
GOAT.
you no. Then
And
you're just taking shots, Leo. We're talking, or we're having good conversation. If you're just taking the shots, that doesn't mean you change the game. If you're not making it, you just took a bad shot. I'll give you
right,
Trey, but he's not efficient at it.
right, but
Not right now. The first year, I give you that. Like I said, I'm gonna say that that's one of the players. I'm not even gonna argue that. I'll just say that that's one of the players. Whether he's efficient at it or not, he does take enough of those shots that I can say that. Dame Lillard, I'll even give you that because you may get one of those a game, but he's likely to shoot that when the clock is running down in the second or fourth quarter. He's not
yeah,
really shooting that in the flow of his offense.
yeah.
Steph is
Even
shooting that in
LeBron,
the flow
even
of a
listen,
regular shot.
look at LeBron, early LeBron. You will never see him taking them deep threes like he has started to take now. And the reason that he's doing it is because of the Steph Curry style of basketball, in my opinion.
No, why would he take a shot from all the way out there when I'm 6'8", 240 pounds, and there's no point guard that's my size? That's just not smart. He's taking it now because he's 30 something, almost 40 years old, and he's been in the league 21 years. And this requires less energy.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I didn't say the reason. I didn't say that's the only reason. But what I'm saying is, before Steph was playing that style, everybody wasn't doing it, and now everybody trying to do
LeBron's
it, even if
first
they're not
playoff,
successful at it.
LeBron's first finals is a 3-pointer against Orlando in Rashard Lewis's face from probably 31 feet. He's been doing this. He's had plenty of shots from that far before Steph Curry was even drafted. The shooting this shot once or twice a quarter has come from Steph Curry being in the league. But that hasn't made basketball better, in my opinion, more than Every team that I named, like I literally named that basketball has turned positionless because of LeBron. It's not positionless because of Steph Curry.
I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I feel like
What position outside of the point guard can Steph Curry check? And he can't even check all of your point guards that are in
that,
the NBA. He has nobody that he shut down defensively. If you
that
can
is
score
fine.
with Steph Curry, if you can score with Steph Curry, then you're Xing him out. You can't X out LeBron James. Even and I'm not a LeBron fan, bro. Like, I'm a Michael Jordan fan.
Hey,
But you cannot
hey,
X out LeBron, somebody who's affecting the game at every level of the game. You can't say one person is better
I
than him
respect.
that
Listen,
only affects the game in one way.
I 1,000,000% respect LeBron James and what he has done on the court and off the court. I am not saying that anything against LeBron. I'm just saying that when I see basketball right now today, when I see these kids playing, when I see these high schools playing, they are shooting even the center position, which is not what LeBron brought into the league. They wasn't doing that with LeBron. When LeBron was with Cleveland, that didn't exist. It
What are
existed
you talking
after
about,
it
bro?
existed after the,
Do
the
you know
Golden
who
State
Delonte
Warriors
West
started
is,
doing it.
bro? Do you know who Delonte West is? I'm just asking.
Yes,
Do you know who Boogie Williams is? I mean, do you
yes,
know Boobie Gibson? Can
yes.
you go back just when you get a
All
chance? Go back and look.
guards.
When you go back and look at where their 3 pointers are. They're not all standing on the line to shoot 3 pointers, bro.
I'm just saying, bro.
We're not about please do not just sit here and say that Steph Curry is the start of shooting the deep three. He is the start of taking the shots that everyone else's coach would sit them down for, and he makes them. Steph
Bruh,
Curry is on hold on. Steph Curry's greatness comes from his efficiency and the fact that he makes the shots that he shoots like this. Klay Thompson this year, who is his teammate, i.e. the other Splash brother, was taking shots like this all year. Jordan Poole the year before to this year with the Wizards was taking the same shots. How did Jordan Poole look with the Wizards this year shooting them shots?
trash.
Like trash.
Steph Curry did usher in a certain. I can't take that away from us.
I,
That
I
that
didn't I didn't say he didn't usher it in. I said that it did not make basketball better. I said that
I
if you
never.
go
I
when
didn't say
when
made
you
it better. I said changed it. I never
you can
said made it
I,
better.
but LeBron made it better. I'm
Listen,
saying to you that you don't
Allen Iverson saw something, right?
Without LeBron, you don't have Giannis playing the point guard with Minnesota. I mean, with Milwaukee for a season. Milwaukee, he played point guard for 2 years with them
okay.
before they got a point guard. You
I
don't have Joker playing point guard. You don't have Bam Adebayo playing point guard
I,
because of LeBron,
I
because of
was
Steph Curry. None of them are playing point guard because of Steph Curry. Kyle Anderson, whose nickname is Slow Mo, is not playing point guard for Minnesota when Mike Conley's not in the game
Was
because of
Tracy?
Steph Curry.
I got a
I was
question.
about to say Tracy McGrady
Tracy,
was doing that, so I think Tracy McGrady might have ushered that style in
hold up.
first.
Even before Tracy McGrady,
Gilbert Arenas shot them
Scottie
shots that
Pippen
Steph
doing it.
Curry was shooting before Steph Curry got in the league.
Was
Anybody
Scott
want to doubt me? Anybody
was
want to doubt
Scottie
me?
Pippen
Gilbert
bringing the
Arenas,
ball up or
her
not?
Nah,
body.
I'm not gonna doubt you because I remember
Scottie
him
Pippen
shooting the
was a
shots.
point.
That
Scottie
game
Pippen
with
was
the
a point forward.
147 I was talking
My
about earlier.
point. So that's not LeBron shit.
Leo. Where's Scottie Pippen at on the assist list? Nowhere to fucking be found. He's nowhere to be found. He's not a point forward. He just dribbled the ball up the court. He don't have no 30. He don't have 40 games in a season with triple doubles. Stop playing, bro. We
I didn't
talking
say.
about a
Listen,
different player.
I did not say that Scottie was as good as LeBron.
No. You just said that he brought the ball up court. I said
Did he?
you don't have centers bringing the ball up court because of Steph Curry. You have them
Bruh,
bringing the ball up court because of LeBron
they're
James.
not. How
we
many centers bring the ball up court?
Bam Adebayo, Joker, Joel Embiid. Do you want me to keep going on?
It is rare that Joel.
Do you want me to keep going on? Do you want me
Listen,
to keep going on?
Joel Embiid has had a point guard his whole career. So the majority of the time, he does not bring the
Ben
ball up
Simmons is
court.
not a point guard.
Well, he was playing it. He was playing it. He
But
can't do
but
shit
Joel
else.
Embiid has brought the but
He can't do.
Joel Embiid this season has brought the ball up. Has played point guard this season intentionally. They literally put him
Yes,
at point guard this year. Or in his lineup was him being at point guard with Maxey out. He was at the point guard this year. Bam
yes,
Adebayo
because
almost plays point guard every
all
game
right.
with us.
I got a question. So you saying that's a direct result of LeBron, right?
Yes,
You're saying that that's a direct result of LeBron. But
yes.
but and this is my biggest but. How did LeBron himself effectively do that?
Can I? This is where I give credit to LeBron for me. The super teams was a LeBron thing. LeBron made it to where if you didn't have three superstars on your team, you really couldn't even compete for
No, he
real.
didn't.
The
At
What you
one
talking
Lakers,
about? What playing against him?
the Celtics, the Lakers.
meaning you
The
had to
Celtics
no,
were first.
meaning you had to squad up. The Celtics wasn't really a super team. That was
No,
a
no, no. Hold up.
Yes, they
and when I
were.
mean hold up,
Yes,
and
they
when I mean
were.
by super team, let me say this.
Yes,
What I
they
mean by super
were.
team,
Ray
the
Allen
players.
with Paul Pierce
What
and
I
Kevin
mean,
Garnett was a super
but
team,
when I
bro.
mean
Yeah.
my super team is where the players picked where they wanted, who they wanted to play
Th-
with.
Was
That
the
wasn't
Rockets?
Ray Allen and
Hold up.
Kevin Garnett did.
that
Paul
was
Pierce
not
was
the
already
situation in
there.
Boston.
I got a
That was
question.
not the
No,
situation.
I got another question. Hold up,
Danny
hold
Ainge
up.
constructed that deal
Uh,
on
I,
draft day by trading a bunch of picks
I
to get him.
disagree
It
about the
didn't
super
matter.
team.
They sent two
So
players
Danny
that
Ainge
wanted to play
constructed
together
that.
on
They
a
didn't
team
I
know
with
got.
they was
another
on the same
player.
team.
Listen, I disagree about the
All
super
right,
team. Let me
all
tell
right.
you why. Listen. This the super team, right? And it's just not a super team. The Houston Rockets, when they had Charles Barkley, Akeem Olajuwon, and Clyde Drexler,
No,
that's not a
that's
super team.
no, because it's a GM constructed team. I'm talking about where
Oh my God, no,
It
bro,
was
no,
a
no, that's
super
a
team,
super
Leo.
team.
Leo, I'm with
That's
you.
a
That's a super
super
team, bro.
team, bro. That's a super. We've been seeing super
that's
teams
not a
forever,
super
Hello.
team. That's not a player constructed super team. I'm talking
bro.
about a player constructed to where like LeBron and Chris Bosh and them did. They got
Nobody,
together.
Do that.
nobody has that power, bro, anymore. Nobody has that power but LeBron. I get that shit.
No, I'm gonna tell you who ended up with it. Kevin Durant. That's right.
When?
Kevin Durant
That
had that
can't count either
power.
because that's one player moving to a team that already had people on it. That don't
And,
count.
right, but
Yeah.
he had the power to make a super
No, he was
team, even if
he
it's
was
just
a
for himself.
he's a free agent. You get to go visit whoever you want to. It
I'm
wasn't a
not
trade.
disputing that, but I'm just saying, just the way it ended up, he had the power to
No, it
make
was
Him and
only
Durant
he,
the
Kyrie.
most
But it
no.
wasn't
That's
just
what I'm
him. It
saying.
was Kyrie
The
too, though.
Celtics is better because he's the only it's only one person moving. One person moving to the team, and we can go back to the Mark Aguirre John going to the Celtics. I mean, going to the Pistons when they was getting ready go to the championship and stuff. Then
Yeah. Like
I'm just
I think
saying,
that there's
he
been
ended up with that power to make a super team.
I think like you said, hand picked super teams, LeBron.
That's what
But
I'm saying.
I just feel like he's the only person that's been able to really do that. Like with Kyrie and KD, they did it together. You get what I mean? They pulled the super team together. It wasn't just Kyrie or it wasn't just KD. You get what I'm saying? So like with LeBron, I give you that. LeBron to me has been the most powerful NBA player of all time, even more powerful than Jordan. The most powerful player while playing in the NBA has been LeBron James. And
I agree.
I'm not taking nothing away from his greatness. He has done everything that he has been at, like you would ask somebody to do in an NBA career. He's been the MVP.
So,
He's won championships.
so,
He's
all
done
right.
everything. But so, in my opinion, Steph Curry
I
got
just
the
want to
same
ask this. Hold on. Can
accolades
I
more
ask this
trophies.
question? Since you're talking about power, did Rodman or did Rodman not beat up on Jordan when he was with the bad boys?
Yeah,
And
he
Rodman still
clotheslined that
came
nigga
to
out the
play with
game.
Jordan. Hold on. Is that not power? I think that's more power than LeBron hold, if you ask me. I'm talking
No,
about player to get a player to come. You talking about a player knocking me upside my head? We possibly going to blows and wrecking. You know what I'm saying? And I
no,
go
no.
play
It's
with
not
that
the same.
man. I think that's more power.
Not
I'm
the
just
same.
saying, me personally.
LeBron since he left Cleveland has been able to pick his team every year since he left Cleveland the first time for like 15 years. He's been able to pick his own team for 15 years. That's power.
Uh, I don't know if Jordan ever wanted to do that though.
No, but it's not if he wanted
LeBron
to do
has
it or
gotten
not.
coaches fired. LeBron has gotten coaches
LeBron
fired,
got
and it
coaches fired. He got
This is
GMs fired.
a whole nother era. It's a whole nother era, fellas. We're talking about a player that has the ability to do this because the game is influenced in this way. This game wasn't influenced in this way during Mike's time, where he could have put together. And one, Mike has come out and said several times that he would have never done any of this stuff that any of these
Yeah,
dudes is doing anyway. So
yeah.
one, that's already off the table. So even if he had the power to do it, he would have never did it. He only got Rodman when Rodman was a free agent
When Robin
because
was
Horace
yeah,
Grant left and he had coming back from retirement. If it wasn't for him retiring, Horace Grant would have probably still been on the team. So
nah,
he
Horace
picked up
Grant
somebody.
didn't want. He was a
Now,
jealous
Horace
dude.
Grant didn't want to stay on
Horse
the
would
team.
have left regardless. Horse was
Yeah.
jealous. Horse was real badly
Y'all,
jealous.
y'all can say that, and everybody has what they had to say via the last dance. But when you're winning, everybody decided to
No,
stay. He didn't
Horse,
leave while they were winning.
Horse,
He left when Mike left. He
but
left. But
Horse
once Mike,
grandson,
once
I'm
Mike
telling
left,
you, Horse
he
was messed
still
up.
was.
Horse
He
was gonna
still,
leave.
bro. He still was there after Mike left, y'all.
No, he wasn't. He left that same when Mike retired. He left that same summer. Horse left. He was the
Oh, he
first
did
one to
not.
take
All
it.
right.
He was the
Okay.
first one to leave.
All
He's
right.
the first one to leave. Took the money from Orlando. Orlando offered him all that money. He went to play with Shaq and Penny. He went to play with Shaq and Penny. He was
Which
the
was
first
which
one
was
to
a pretty
leave.
good choice though. Shaq and Penny was a good tandem at that point in time.
Yeah, he was the first one to leave. He was the first one to leave. He was a jealous type. He was always a funny style dude. I like Horace Grant. And don't get it twisted. There is no championship without Horace Grant, the first three. No doubt. But Horace did not like the way that the setup was. He was real jealous of Jordan, in my opinion. And that's just me coming from a Bulls fan.
We get Mike retired, y'all.
Mike retired in 93 after the 93 finals. And then he came back in 95. Like
Horace Grant played with the Bulls in 93, 94. Like I said, he
93,
played.
94. That's the year he left. 93, 94.
All right.
Not 94, 95. 94, 95, he's playing for Orlando. And then 95, 96, he was playing for Orlando twice. He played against us in the what's the name when Jordan came back.
Yeah, but either which way, uh, I figured out what it was. I think that I've been talking about elite iconic teams.
Bro,
And
Horace
I,
Grant played with the Bulls the year Michael Jordan retired. He did not go to this what you call him until after that, bro. I don't know why I say argue this with y'all, bro.
well,
Michael Jordan retired
I'm not even talking about
October.
Horace Grant.
Michael Jordan retired in October of 93. Horace Grant played with the Bulls in 93, 94 with Scottie Pippen one more year after Mike left. I'm trying to tell y'all if he'd stayed and they would have won, he would have stayed. All that jealousy stuff and all that from the last dance is because everybody get to talk trash because they're no longer on the team. You stayed on the team with Mike because Mike was winning. Nobody left when Mike was there. And once Mike retired, everybody decided to leave. When he came
Horace,
back, Rodman stayed for every championship until Mike left. Once Mike decided to get ready to leave, that's when Rodman left.
Nah, Rodman left because of Phil.
Went to the Spurs.
Phil was really the guy that really had Rodman in the right
No
sense.
cheese.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he left because of Phil. When Phil
Y'all,
left,
y'all not getting what I'm saying. Y'all not getting what
no, I get what you're saying about Mike,
okay.
but I'm
Y'all
saying
not
as far
getting what
as
I'm saying.
Dennis Rodman specifically, of course, if Mike would have stayed, Phil would have stayed, he would have stayed. But Phil was, I think, the more deciding factor in Rodman more than anybody because I think Phil had that type of relationship with Rodman. I mean, if you go look at them talk about each other, they had that type of relationship.
What I'm saying to you is that if Mike never said that he about to retire for the second time, Dennis Rodman's not going nowhere because Mike's not losing. Y'all keep
But
taking away the fact that I'm telling y'all that Mike retired. That's the only reason why anybody wanted to leave. Horace ain't go nowhere until Mike retired. When the Bulls didn't win after he
no,
left, okay,
Horse came back. Horse left like when his contract was up. His contract was up 95. He left May 5th,
that's
1995.
not what you said at first. That's not what you said at first, bro. You said he was
That's
jealous
at
of
first.
Mike.
Now that I looked at it,
What I
Horse did
said
not
is that
leave.
again, I'm going off what
I'm
I said.
saying he
What
would
you
have
said
left
was
regardless. Whenever his contract was up, he was not going to renew with the Bulls. He was not.
you don't leave if you winning, bro. He wasn't good enough to go nowhere and win. That's what I'm trying to
He went
tell
to the
you, bro.
finals with Orlando.
You're not hearing me out, bro. Okay, he went to that finals because Michael Jordan wasn't in the league, bro. Are we forgetting that? Wasn't nobody going to the finals and doing nothing with Michael Jordan in the league. So let's have the conversation again. If Horace Grant has to re-sign with the Bulls or gets a chance to go somewhere else, you take the chance and leave Michael Jordan that's playing. If you want to, you would have went to Orlando and never saw the finals if Mike never retired. Because Mike would have took that shit personal that Horace left thinking he was going to do something else
Mike
against
returned.
him.
Mike, when Horace Grant, hold up. When Mike came back March 8th, 1995.
Yes,
Right.
a month before the
Hold on.
playoffs.
He
That's why
came
they
back
got put out.
March 8th, 1995. Horace
And
Grant was
what
still,
happened the year
Horace,
after when they played
Horace
again?
Grant
They
was still
played
on the
them again.
Bulls when he came back.
You said what?
Horace Grant was still on the Bulls when he came back. He left
Bruh, that
regardless. Even after Jordan, he left May 5th, 1995. He signed. So when Jordan came back, he then signed with the Magic after Jordan came back.
because Michael Jordan. Hold on. How is that even possible, bro?
He said right here, March 18th, 1995, Jordan announced his return to the NBA. Two-word press, I'm back. Boom, right? And Horace Grant didn't leave till May 5th, 1995. He signed with the Orlando Magic. So that 2 months later, after Jordan came back, then Horace Grant left. After Jordan came back. He did not want to play with he didn't like that dynamic. He says it.
You said Jordan came back when, my brother?
Jordan came back March 18th, 1995. Horace Grant
Horace
left.
Grant is playing with the Orlando
No,
Magic,
he's
bro. What
not.
are you
He's
talking
not.
about?
That's not according to this.
Bro, I don't care what you're looking at. I'm looking at his games. I'm looking at the game that he played
Okay,
on
hold
the
on.
night of December of 27th, 1994 with the Orlando Magic against the Miami Heat. Horace Grant was with the Orlando Magic. When Michael Jordan came back, he played against Horace Grant. What are you talking about? Horace Grant was with the Orlando Magic when Michael Jordan came back. How are they on the same
Okay.
team if he played against
Okay.
them?
I don't know. It just says and joined the Landry Mad last Shaquille O'Neal on May 5th. Oh, he said he made a basket.
Yeah, about he
He's the
got the
free
steal
agent
for
though.
them to get the game
Hold up.
winning basket.
This Grant signed
He
on
stayed with
July
Scottie
18th,
Pippen the year after
1990.
Mike
Oh, he did
retired.
sign. Let me see.
I told you I had this book since I was like 4, bro.
All right, look. Can we get to some of the interviews?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we done went to a full basketball conversation, and I feel like it's a bit of my fault because but I'm just saying,
No,
can
no,
we
no,
get
no.
to
I
the
mean, we was all giving our descriptions of iconic and iconic teams. And
yeah?
like I said, I'm hard on Michael Jordan. I don't think the Bulls. I mean, the Bulls are an iconic team, but without Michael Jordan, you don't have that conversation. There's nothing iconic about
I
the
agree.
franchise without Michael Jordan.
But don't you feel like he made the franchise iconic?
You got to play for somebody. I mean, everybody can't play for the Lakers or for the Celtics. And I'm
I
saying
mean,
that
but
during that time, Stern was really bad. That was what everyone's closed mouth said until he retired. That's why
yeah,
everybody likes Adam Silver, because you'll get a new winner every 2 or 3 years because he doesn't really like one team dominating over the whole thing. Especially with
yeah,
LeBron going to the championship 10 years in a row, that just looked real crazy. So
yeah.
yeah, they kind of
I mean,
swap out.
I look at it like this. When you think of iconic teams, right? You only get a couple of those each decade, right? And so for me, the '90s, you know what I mean. When you think about the '90s sports, right? You gotta say the Chicago Bulls. They was the best franchise in all of sports, in my opinion, throughout that time for the '90s.
Uh-huh.
When you think about the '80s, you think about the Lakers and the Celtics. You get what I'm saying? It's the Lakers and the Celtics. I grew up a Yankees fan. You can throw the Yankees in there or whatever the case may be for iconic teams, but you only got a couple of those, right? Like the
Is
Green
the
Bay.
Buck team with Tom Brady his the year before last? Are they an iconic team?
I don't feel they are, to me, but to somebody else, they may feel that way because when you think about that Tom Brady leaving the Patriots to go to them, it was a whole excitement
It's an
thing, and
iconic
you
team,
know,
Leo.
it,
It's
I
an
mean, to
iconic team,
me,
bro.
but to
It's an
me,
iconic team. The
What
reason why it's an iconic
wasn't
team
that
is
their
because
first Super Bowl?
it's the greatest. No, it wasn't their
no,
first Super Bowl, but it's the greatest player in
I mean,
NFL
not their
history's
first,
last
but
Super Bowl.
yeah,
That's why
yeah,
it's
no, I,
iconic. Even if their roster's trash, or even if their roster's mid, even if they wasn't supposed to beat the Redskins or the Commanders or the Washington football team, whatever the case may be, it's an iconic team because the best player in NFL history played on that team after just leaving his former team that he made a dynasty and turned this one into a winner overnight.
Yeah, I can agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Like some people would agree to that, and like I said, it's a not necessarily as much of a gray area to me as other teams, but like I said, to me, I just look at when I say iconic, I look at for the elite iconic teams, the teams that didn't just do good 1 year or 2 years, the teams that was consistently good throughout that time period. The Patriots, to me, is Tom Brady's iconic team. You know what I mean? To me, Joe Montana, iconic team, was definitely the 49ers. Now, did he go play with the Chiefs and did he go do well with the Chiefs? He played all right with the Chiefs, all right. But was they to the level that he was playing? Like, not really. But Tom Brady, he didn't necessarily miss a step. So it's kind of hard to argue when it comes to that situation. But that's an anomaly, bruh. That's what
Do
I'm
you
saying.
think that the 3,000-yard Baltimore Ravens team is an iconic team?
You talking about the defense?
The 3,000-yard rushing team.
Oh, not really. Not really, no.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Not really.
What?
They broke a record, fellas. They broke the record, fellas.
I mean, yes. So I,
100 yards, bruh.
I do agree with that, but like, are we really? Are we talking about that team now? So like with the iconic teams, I think that
if
you
if
have a
if, if
thing.
we're having a conversation about running, if we're having a conversation about rushing attacks or running game, they would have to come up. That's what I'm saying. Iconic teams have places. The
Yeah,
1991 Washington Redskins are given the name of the greatest to ever play. Let's be very honest. Even though we had a good run in the 80s, that team that won in the 90s wasn't a team that came from a dynasty. We had
it
two,
wasn't.
3 years prior to that we weren't doing well.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
we only missed the playoffs one of those seasons. Well, Joe Gibbs only missed the playoffs one time, so we were always doing well under Gibbs. I mean, it's crazy as that might sound.
No, when you're not winning the division, you know what that means in our division. And yes, you're giving yourself a shot. But again, what are your
I mean, we was
expectations when
10-6
you start
that year
winning?
though. We were still 10-6. We just didn't go to playoffs. We was 10-6.
Yeah, again, if you don't beat your division though,
Yeah.
you don't beat them. That's again. We went to the
The
playoffs
body
under Ron
bag game
Rivera,
hurt us though. Towards the end of the no, matter of fact, I think we
and
did go. No. We went to the playoffs that next season. We lost to the Bears, I believe, or somebody. We lost to somebody in that playoffs that year. We did go though. That year before the 91 season you talking about, right? 90 season. We won. We beat the Eagles. We knocked the Eagles out the playoffs after the body bag game. We ended up knocking them out the playoffs. So the body bag game hurt us though, because a lot of people went down and ended up affecting us in the playoffs of that season. So the 90 season, you're right. I was talking about Doug Williams season, that 80 after the Super Bowl, the 88 season, we didn't make the playoffs. That was the only one that Joe Gibbs didn't make the playoffs. You know. All right, but let's go to some of these interviews. I know y'all ready for the interviews. Let's get to seeing what these guys had to say after the OTAs and doing the OTAs. And some of these interviews are before the OTAs, I believe. So we're gonna go to some interviews and see what we can conjure up right here.
we got one after the OTAs, which is John Baptiste.
John Baptiste.
Get better every
Yeah,
day.
Javon Baptiste
Like, you know,
was the only.
I love Cliff. You know, he has a great energy. You know, I feel like he does a great
and we
job
missed 88, 89, bro.
with
That's what I
players and
was
his
saying.
person.
Like we wasn't good like 3-4 years in a row. Like I was saying about the Bullets. Like the Bullets got 9 years of being a top team. We lost. We were a great team in the 80s, but that 91 team that's considered the greatest team to ever play, we were coming off of the year before that we went to the playoffs, but the 2 years prior to that we weren't in the playoffs.
Yeah. Now, what I was saying, bro, was John Baptiste is the only interview after OTAs. Everybody else was kind of before or during.
Okay. All right. All right, try to get this screen on up for y'all. OTA screen.
They saying that John Baptiste is Saint Baptiste. Is that the wide receiver? What's the wide receiver's name? Out
Uh,
of Georgia.
let me see. I got
The,
the. Give me a second.
the
Um,
undrafted rookie.
as wide receiver,
Yeah.
the wide receivers we got is right now, Terry, Jahan, Luke, Jameson, Diami, Demir, Zakowskis, Mitchell Tinsley, Kazir Allen, Davion Davis, Marcus Rosemary, Jack Saint. That's what you talking about?
Yeah, him. They say he's the best undrafted rookie, and he's standing out in camp.
Yeah, I mean, right now, and we'll get to that next week. Right now, and you know what I'm gonna do while I'm in here? Right now, we got 13 wide receivers on the roster right now. So I don't know if he even makes the team.
Who y'all talking about?
Marcus Rosemary, Jack Saint.
Oh no! Oh ho ho ho! Be very mindful of that statement, my boy. I thought I sent y'all the draft tape on him. I mean, not the draft tape, the OTA tape. He's
That's what I
he's
was just
on
trying to tell them. That's
he's
what I
on
was
a
just
lot
trying
of
to tell
people
them, Vito.
radar. He's on a lot of coaches and scouts radar from our OTA practices. He has to do well with the practice with the rest of the team, but as far as the rookie OTA practice, he was quietly just as impressive as McCaffrey. He has the most memorable catch of OTAs right now, catching on a defender, a one hand catch on one of the D backs.
Yeah,
No,
they said he making a little bit of noise. He is making a
I
little bit of noise.
no, I agree with what y'all saying. I'm just saying that right now we got 13 wide receivers. That wide receiver spot is open, I would say, for maybe the last two slots. But those last two slots gonna be going in between 7, 8 people. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah,
cool. I think that Yami Brown is possible to get cut, and I don't know if Tinsley has to have an amazing all season. I'm not really the biggest Tinsley fan, but I
Yeah, I
mean,
think Tinsley gonna get cut.
Yeah, Tinsley. I mean, it's a lot of people, but I'm saying 13 receivers. That's a lot. So it's gonna be
um,
hard, especially with let's say number one, two, and let's say Luke McCaffrey is number three. You know what I mean? So even if we're not looking at it like that, it's still 5 slots, and Crowder's probably gonna make the team. Like realistically.
yeah, I can see that. All right, well, let's go to Brian Robinson. We got up first. He speaks to the media. This was at the OTA 7 days ago. So we're gonna get Brian Robinson in here. Let him speak his own just due and go from there.
Just get better every day.
What's Cliff been like as an OC so far?
I love Cliff. You know, he has a great energy. You know, I feel like he does a great job with, you know, trying to get to know his players and his personnel and just know how to best, you know, utilize us and, you know, put us in the.
Uh,
I feel like, he been doing a great job of that, you know, and I appreciate him for that.
What shows he's trying to
got a technical difficulties, huh?
put
Things in the meeting room, you know, just how we meet and, you know, communicate, you know, from the meeting room to the walkthroughs to, you know, on the field, you know, just, you know, having like, you know, great communication and trying to build a bond within our offense to just make us all come together.
You know how last year ended, right? You were part of this. What kind of mindset did you come in with this season with a brand new staff? What's the vibe right now in your room?
I mean, we get to set the tone for, you know, what we want for this year, you know, within the staff, within the locker room, within this whole organization. You know, we get to set the tone for, you know, how we want this year to go based off of just how we, you know, put the past behind us and attack what's in front of us, you know, and as long as guys continue to, you know, be where their feet are and attack what's in front of us and in front of them, we will continue to just make strides in the right direction.
And what have you seen from this staff? You mean, when the new guys come in, you have to go, I wonder what we're getting. What are you getting?
They've been great. You know, I feel like, you know, the staff been, you know, great working together. You know, they've been great working with us, you know, just trying to find the best, best ways to help us, as a team. And I feel like as long as they continue to, just, put that foot first to just make sure their team, is good, then we will continue to just build a great connection and relationship.
It's obviously early in the install, but what kind of differences are you seeing from Cliff's offense from what you guys have been running?
I mean, it's going to be a little bit faster, as far as, if I'm comparing it to offense we had last year. I don't really want to go much into detail as far as like what kind of play calls we will have. I just know the tempo will be faster, compared to last year. We had a, huddle type of offense. This offense would be more no huddle. So if I can give any idea of, how this offense will go, it'll be a no huddle offense.
Are you excited about it?
I'm excited. I love ball. Any offensive scheme you put me in, it's just perfectly fine to do, what I need to do and what my coach need me to do for the offense.
What's up?
People, hit the offseason hard and work out and train every day. Me personally, I take my mind away from the grind a little bit, take my mind away from ball, and just kind of get in spaces that's where I feel most comfortable.
Good to see you, B-Rob. Obviously, coming into this year, mentally, physically, is this the best you felt, as a pro in the NFL coming into here?
I mean, besides when I first got drafted and all the crazy stuff happened, yes, this is the best I've felt, since, probably right after I got drafted here.
Why do you think that is?
Because, it's a work in progress to get back to where I am now from where I came from in my first year.
You mentioned the vibes high, coaching staff. What type of adjustment has that been for you and the players to adjust to kind of this coaching staff and what they're selling, and how are you guys embracing that?
I think it's been great for not even just me, for just, everybody to kind of adjust to this coaching staff, because they've been, so good just with how they connect with us, and the conversations we have and the type of conversation we have in the meetings, and just, just building that connection that we probably just didn't do, beforehand. We just ain't have the coaches or maybe the coaching staff that we felt like we can build a comfortable relationship with, so we could take that relationship, from the meeting room to the practice field to the game field. So I feel like we got a jump start with that right now, thanks to Coach Quinn, just allowing us to just be more of a team. And I think that's, really helping us, get off to a good head start right now.
Hey, Brian, with your position coach, Anthony Lynn, what are you learning on the early part of working with him, and how have you seen your game change with him as your position coach?
I mean, I know he has a lot of knowledge, experience. He's played at this level, and he has a lot of tips and things he can leave with us that'll just, help us take out to the practice field. And we getting better every day. We just getting started, for a long season to come, and I'm sure I will continue to see my game translate, over time. Right now we just kind of putting down the base, fundamentals to just how we want to go to work.
Awesome. Thanks, B-Rob.
All right. That's Brian Robinson, running back Brian Robinson. Now this is his third year with Washington. First year he had an unfortunate accident regarding him being shot on H Street for his Hellcat. I mean, that's what happened. Don't get mad at me, but that's exactly what happened. Then you had a second season last year on the Bieniemy. His best season thus far, but it still came with mixed reviews because Bieniemy refused to run the ball. I don't blame that. I don't blame him for that. So, we have Brian Robinson in his third season just speaking on things that he felt like could happen or wants to happen during the season, which I got on Brian Robinson and a few words he gave at the OTA 7 days ago.
To me, it sounded like Brian Robinson settled in to being a professional running back at this point in his career. Listening to him saying how he's enjoying the new staff, enjoying his running back coach, learning from him. He just sounds much mature as a person. He's always had a good head on his shoulder. He's never really, even with that incident, it was never really, him just looking for trouble. If you know my city, That's how my city is. You know what I'm saying? It was an unfortunate incident that happened. It just seems like he's really maturing, and I really can't wait to see him perform this year.
Okay. What you got, Point? You got Vito, you got something on Brian Robinson? Should I chime in first? All right, I guess I'll chime in. One thing that I did like about his press conference, Brian Robinson's press conference, is I like the fact that, to me, and this is JP Finley because I know his voice. JP Finley, it seems to be harping on last year, how bad last year was. You know what happened around here last year. Like, so for Brian Robinson to really say, hey, I'm not even really thinking about that or talking about that, and how he's saying, hey, we control, and he's not the only, every player that has gotten up there and talked, one thing that I've picked, that these guys have been alike on, is each and every one of them said, we decide what happens from here. It's in our control. It's something that we need to do. It's something that we can handle now. And so I believe that that's a message that Dan Quinn is pushing. However it is you want your season to go, you are in control of that based on the work that you're putting in now and based on the work that you're going to and the decisions you're going to make moving forward. I think that's a positive thing. I really think that is something that the players have harped on. And again, I just said I've heard multiple people say it. So it's something that's sticking out, at least in regard to the guys that are repeating it. You control your own destiny, how the season goes with whatever it is that you want to happen this year. So I think that's a positive thing and outlook. And that's the main thing I took from this is, he feels like he's of somewhat control over what happens. And that's really all you want. I think you can get a determined guy like that. My main thing with Robinson has always been holding the ball because he runs hard. Hold the ball when needed. When you know that it's an important time, you should not be fumbling. I mean, no time is a good time to fumble. But in your own territory, particularly, and when you get deep in their territory, particularly, you would like to hold on to the ball. Anytime you're in your own territory, you should really be thinking about holding on the ball. If you get into their territory, even if it's a short field, it's a little bit better to fumble, or if you're going to fumble in their territory, not deep in their territory, but around in between the 50 and the 30, really the 50 and the 35 is really your only fumble territory, I believe, where it doesn't hurt much. But anything beyond that, you're either giving away points or you're giving up points to them. So where you fumble does matter. Yeah, so that's what I took on that. Just to get back to the point, I just took that he feels like the team feels like, and the players feel like they're at their own mercy when it comes to how the season goes and how the things that they can do within this season. That's generally what I took. Any guys want to chime in before we go to the next interview? That's not. All right.
Good.
You good? All right. Let's get it on to let's see what we can get with this next interview. Popping up. Let's get Cliff Kingsbury in here. Cliff Kingsbury, man of the hour right now.
What's your main goal with what you're trying to accomplish, particularly with the quarterbacks?
We just want to make everybody the best they can be in the room. I think DQ's been preaching competition the entire time, and so all those drills are just set up for us to get game type reps and improve as players, and that's how it's set up. That's what we've talked about, and those guys have done a good job kind of straining in every drill.
The fact that you have Jaden, how much did that change anything you were looking to do, or just, hey, this is what we do and we're just gonna, knowing his skill set, we'll just go forward?
Yeah, year in, year out, based on your personnel, you're always trying to maximize your personnel play to your strengths, and so we'll see what we have. We're just getting to know the guys, but once we figure that out, we'll build our offense around who we have and try to put the best product out there we can.
It's early, but what do you think of Jaden so far?
He's intentional in everything he does, which I like. That's what we had heard about him coming up, and that's what he's been since he's been here. He's been focused, intentional, and got to work. So that's been fun to be around.
What do you like about Luke McCaffrey?
I really like his story. He dealt with some adversity and kept fighting, and then bless you. And he loves football, loves it. He doesn't care if he plays quarterback, running back, whatever. He just wants to play, and that's fun to be around. Really smart, same type deal. I mean, he's up there all hours of the day trying to learn and trying to get it down. And every drill we do, he's full speed, so you can work with that.
And having been with Zach Ertz in Arizona, I mean, what does he bring to the tight end room, not only on the field but helping some of the younger guys?
He's really embracing that role. I think at this stage in his career, he's had such an incredible career, and we got some bright young prospects in that room. And so watching him help coach him, he knows he's a great player. He knows what he can do. So he's very secure in his role and who he is at this point in his career. And so that's been awesome to see him kind of leave his legacy with those guys, with how he treats them, how he works with them, how he coaches them up.
What's your process for building and installing your offense?
Yeah, I think every stop, it's been different. The one major thing I try to do is make sure this was year one of the Commanders' offense, not year 5 of the Arizona Cardinals. So you want to start back with a real base install and then build it and grow it and go from there.
And what kind of a learner is Jaden?
He works really hard at it. So we've only had him a couple of days, but he works really hard at it. And, what I liked most probably about the college tape is just the drastic improvement you saw year in, year out. I mean, that shows that the guy's putting in the work and studying and doing those things you have to do to try and be great.
Coach, can you share some early thoughts on your running back room and kind of what your early impressions are of those guys?
It's been awesome. B-Rob has a certain joy about him. I'm sure y'all been around him, just playing the game, always smiling, always into it, high energy, high effort, walkthroughs are full speed for him. And then Austin, just an underdog story that came in, became, one of the best running backs in the league, really, when you're talking about being able to do it all. So they really complement each other well. They feed off each other. And so we're really excited about that room.
And then a lot of guys have really kind of talked about your willingness to take their input and kind of help fold that in. Can you just kind of talk about your theology behind being that kind of a leader?
Yeah, I think I learned a quote a while back: good ideas know no rank. And so if you got a good idea, I want to hear it. It's not always going to go in, and they know that, but I'm going to listen to it. And a lot of times these guys have been other places, whether it's San Fran or Philly or somewhere where they've had a lot of success. And if there's a better way to do it, I'm all about it.
We all see Jaden putting in the work at practice, throwing, but what are some of the things that we don't see that really impress you about Jaden?
Yeah, like I said, just everything he does is intentional. He has a plan for studying, he has a plan for practice, has a plan for watching film. He knows what he wants to be and where he wants to go. And to be that young and come in there with that mindset is really encouraging.
Dan talked about mentorship, veterans to the players, coaches to the players. Who's taking on that role with Jaden?
We got a bunch of former quarterbacks, on the offense, whether it's Brian, Tavita, myself, David Blau, and then we got Marcus, who's played a lot of years and been a starter in the league for a lot of years. So I think all of us are really excited to work with him, and any pointers, tips, things we can help him grow and expedite the process, we're definitely here for it.
How do you make sure when you have all those guys who can give that input that you're not overloading with input or making sure that the message is what you need it to be?
Yeah, you just make sure they're the right guys, smart guys. We meet every day, talk through things. We're going to cover this, that, and the other, have a great plan, and go out there and put it together.
And then with guys like Austin and Zach, what kind of little things can they impart to the group out here?
Yeah, they've seen the highs and lows. They've seen the good teams, the bad teams. And so just talking through what a good team looked like, what their standards were, their practices, how guys worked, and then the teams that could have been good and weren't, what were the pitfalls with that? So they've all been really good as far as sharing that, been open and been leaders, which is not easy to do when you come into a new place, but they really embraced it. And I think the guys have embraced them.
You've been through this before. When you see rookies come in, what do you see in their eyes the first time they see your playbook and what has to be done?
Yeah, I mean, it's a new world. There's no doubt, but they're here for a reason. They have worked their entire life to be here, and that's what I talk about. It's like you worked your entire life to be here, but you get one time to make a first impression. So put in the work, make sure you have no regrets when you leave here, whether it's training camp or after training camp, or you make the team, play 12 years, have no regrets through this process. And I've been really pleased with how the rookie class so far has approached it.
And you've been a head coach, you've been other places. The vibe here, we've all been here and seen the downtimes. What's the vibe you're getting from your entire staff?
Yeah, DQ sets the tone. DQ and AP, you know, they want to bring positive energy, high energy. Want these guys to want to be in the building and do the best job we can coaching. And so that definitely trickles down to all of us assistants and all the players. And so I've been really pleased and been really happy to be here and be around those guys because of the tone they've set in the building.
Did the hat work today, by the way, for the rain?
There's still UV rays, so that's what it was for. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Wow.
What do you spring practice for? You seem to be as enthusiastic as anyone in that. What does that bring to the table? How does that kind of get practice moving, and what's important about it?
Yeah, it just sets the tone. I mean, if you can go out there and the first thing you're doing is having energy and going crazy and getting guys going, then, you know, anybody else can do it as well. So DQ really encourages that. He wants to set the tone with that drill, and it's been fun. I think, you know, if I'm ever a head coach again, I'll definitely do that.
Adam said that fairly early on he had a sense that Jaden was going to be the guy, at least earlier than the public knew. When for you did you kind of sense that, and how was that process of figuring out who you guys were going to take?
Yeah, you know, it was awesome working with those two guys. I was along for the ride. It was cool for me because when I was in Arizona, he was at ASU, so I'd been following him. I was so impressed. I remember him beating Oregon and like a true freshman doing what he's doing. But you know, this was AP's deal, and he had a good feel for it, and you know, I felt very strongly as well, so it worked out.
You mentioned that you got to kind of go slow, and this is year one of the installation. How do you navigate not going too fast and keeping the speed right with the young quarterback?
Yeah, that's the hard part. You know, over 4 years, like when we first got Kyler, it didn't start out what it ended up year 4, year 3. It was like we did things that we felt he could be really successful at, and then try to build and let him grow and us grow together. And we wanted to make sure I didn't start at some point that would overwhelm anybody. And I think that's, as an OC, that's always a tricky part. You have a lot of good stuff that you've collected over the years. You got to make sure it's simple enough that guys can have confidence and build and grow together.
Do you have everything that you want to use, and you'll pair things away or figure out what to like accentuate with him, or is it something where you'll come up with something new throughout this process?
A little of both. Yeah, we'll continue to take ideas, and there's stuff that he was really good at in college. You know, that's to me a good starting point to build off that and get that comfort level going early and taking it from there.
I know it's early, but are there some things in the playbook where he maybe is a little bit further ahead than you would have anticipated at this point?
Yeah, his football IQ is really high. I think protections, I've been really impressed by that. A lot of guys coming in to the league, that's not a area that they major in college. They don't have a lot of time. It's 4 hours per day. They have rules, but he's really well versed in the protections, and he works at it.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think Coach Kelly, Coach Sloan there at LSU. Coach Kelly is phenomenal offensive mind, always has been. He's very demanding, coaches him hard, and you can tell that Jaden bought into that and really studied it because he's farther ahead definitely than I thought.
He's trying to be a sponge, but has he also, because of who he is, come to you and said, look, there's something that I like and we could do?
Yeah, we're working through that part. I've always told those guys, if you like it, tell me. If you don't like it, tell me. I think it's the best play in the world. If you don't like it, it's not going to work. And that's kind of the relationship I want to have with those guys. And as we get more comfortable together, I think, you know, we'll have that type of dialogue.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, that's who I wanted to hear. Cliff Kingsbury. Out of the fellas who with us, who got something to say? Go ahead. We swinging around the room.
Go ahead.
I really did like this Kingsbury interview. He gave you a good idea on what he wants to build as far as relationships goes with the players. And I think that's a very important thing. He's a guy that don't want to just have you do exactly what he wants you to do, but he wants to know where your strengths are. And I think that that's been a constant in this coaching staff, with them asking, okay, what are you good at? And let's magnify what you're good at. And so I really do like that. I also like the fact that he doesn't want to go back into Arizona, another year of Arizona football. He wants to bring a whole new thing here. And I've heard that from all the coaches as well. They want to build something unique here that they haven't built elsewhere. Because if they're trying to do the air raid offense like he's been doing with Arizona, and it's not tailor made to our strengths, then it's not going to work. And just like he said, I want to know what people are good at so I can basically put them in the best position. I want to hear what you feel comfortable with. And so I really like this Kingsbury interview. I was very impressed by it. I think that you know, nothing but good praises from for right now for me.
Okay, Big Son, what you got?
I'll let your Vito chime in on that one.
All right,
I liked it.
go ahead.
I think it was informative. It gave me a little bit more idea of what I thought what I wanted to know of what we were going to run with the Brian Robinson interview and Cliff Kingsbury interview. I'm a little bit more pleased with Cliff Kingsbury's view. There is a couple of things that worry me, just a little, not worry, just are concerns of mine. I do like the fact that he is willing to change things or work with the players, especially the young guys, because I think that, especially for Jaden, it's going to be all about communication, making sure that regardless of how the plays go, whether I do well or whether it's a bad play, good play from you, that we're just on the same page and that everybody's doing what everybody's doing to make sure that everything is right for that particular play. One play, one time, get one goal done, and see where we go from there. The thing that worries me a little bit is it doesn't feel like he's sure. I don't know if you guys hear that. I could be
I
reaching a
hear.
little bit.
I hear.
I'm just not. I don't feel like he's sure about something. I'm not sure what. I thought that the interesting thing, Leo, that you said that I did take as an interesting point, but I also had a little double take, which was the line about this being the year one offense in Washington and not year 5 in Arizona. Well, it's only 1 year that I saw that was good with Arizona offensively. And then when you didn't have your quarterback and Colt McCoy had to come in, there was a different offense, and that offense was a lot better. So it doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. It's just more so how focused are you in making sure. And again, that may also go into play with what they were saying about Brian Johnson's his strong points as far as being able to have an offense catered to every quarterback that he has on the roster. So maybe that may help in Kingsbury's situation because, like I said, Colt McCoy did do well when Kyler Murray wasn't in there. And this is not to project that Jaden Daniels will be hurt or not play. I just want to make sure that everybody feels like they're comfortable. So the questions that he did, the things that he did answer and saying that he was comfortable and listening to everybody's ideas, like whether it gets entered or not, I want to know what these guys think. I think that this is the time to do that before you buckle in and say that these are the things that I want to do and this is what I want to run. You find out where everybody's comfortable. You get to know the players as best you can. This is a new transition for every coach for the most part because every coach could look at it as if their own head coaching situation because they're all coming in new with everyone new around them, new staff, new partners, new assistants, new coaches in different areas and stuff like that. So the thing to me is his relationship with Ertz, him being able to get some of the things from Ertz to the other players that will help be able to translate the offense where it's not so hard to run it or call it. So those things are positives that I think are good right now.
Okay. You want to go point? Is that who we got left? Or I can go. Again, I'm with you, Vito, on the part where you was like, okay, now let me say this. Hold on. This is where I might be with you or I might be against you. I don't know yet. But I'm with you on the part where you say he doesn't look sure, he doesn't sound sure about something. I agree with you. And my question is his I don't want to just throw stuff in there. I want guys to give me advice. Is that an indication that he don't know what the hell he's doing or what he want to do? You know what I'm saying? Is that an indication? That is a slight insight that he ain't sure how he want to put this offense together, or is that genuine saying, hey, let the guys tell me what they like and I could throw it in. Let me say this, I think it'll make for him to be more creative. Sometimes it's like, hey, I can come up with something to start me off, like even like it's a rapper, you got to start your verse. So sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you might say, hey, throw some ideas out there, let's talk about something random to get a verse starter, you know what I'm saying? So if they giving if the players are actually the ones giving the starter based on what they like to do, I don't know if that's a bad thing. I think that actually forces Kingsbury, to be more creative. I feel like that's, you really got something going if you have somebody who can put it together like on the fly. It's almost like freestyling a little bit. Tell me what you like, and I'm gonna put something together from there. I kind of like that better than Kingsbury having an idea or having all these thoughts about what he wants to do, because what he wants to do really doesn't matter if the player doesn't like doing it. Because if the player doesn't like doing it, then they obviously are probably not good at, not obviously, but probably are not good at whatever it is they don't like doing. That's probably why they don't like doing it, because it doesn't work, or they haven't seen it work to enough to the effect of getting good at it. Just my opinion.
Well, in my opinion, I got the reach, but I don't want to say the reach on air right now.
Right.
Because I think it's a little premature, but yeah, I'm gonna save that. I'll discuss that with you guys outside of this. But it'll just be, let's just say I'm interested right now to see the approach to this from him. Like I said, I think the interview was good.
Oh, I like the interview. I really like the interview. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm waiting to see more.
I really like the interview. I like what he said during the interview. I definitely like the parts where he really expressed that he was putting some of the design portions on the players by listening to what they had to say. I always feel like that's a good idea anyway.
Nope, you know what? I can't help it. It's our show because we're not like everybody else. I want to ask the question. And maybe because me and you feel like this, or we just have a sort of way that we feel about that part of the question. I mean, that part of the interview. Do you think that there may be some reason to ask for other players' advice and what they may want to do? Because maybe, is there an inkling that he was brought in under the impression that they would go another direction?
Meaning at quarterback?
Yes, because Brian Johnson is a former offensive coordinator, and so is Cliff Kingsbury, and we both have them on our staff, which is not a bad thing. I don't think it's bad. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Another direction.
That kind of brings up a question that I had while I was listening to this. Did they bring in too many chefs for this kitchen? Do they have too many chefs in the kitchen?
No, I don't think that first ask V question. No, I don't think that they were trying to go in another direction. I think that they knew that they were going in the Jaden Daniels direction, which is why they wanted to bring in a guy that has worked with scrambling / running quarterbacks. When you think about Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes, those are scrambling guys. When you think about like a Kyler Murray and a Johnny Manziel, those are running guys. Even though Johnny can fit in the scrambler section too. So I don't think that they did. I think they brought him in with that intention to work with somebody that he can maybe, bolster skill set, if you will. I don't think it's too many chefs in the kitchen because I don't know if I think that on Dan Quinn's side of it, it's like, okay, I'm a defensive coordinator. Joe Witt is now my defensive coordinator. So we got two defensive coordinators over here. And now here's two offensive coordinators over there. Two heads is better than one type of thing. And so I think that especially with Brian Johnson coming from the Eagles, I think that it's a handicap. It's several good reasons why, but I don't think it's too many chefs in the kitchen.
I mean, but why? Why don't you think that? What gives you the indication that it's not?
You got coaches for everything. You got coaches for running back. You got coaches for wide receiver, quarterback. You got coaches for everything. So, and now the NFL is evolving to where it's not just coaches, it's not just offensive coordinators. It's passing game coordinator, running game coordinator, stuff like that.
So you're
And
saying the
so,
titles. The titles are the reason that they're not because they're titled something different.
Uh, I'm just saying, like, I don't think that the titles matter, but when building an offense, you're talking about, like you said, the chefs in the kitchen, right? It's not normally just one chef. You got your sous chef, you got your whole line, and so that's the same thing here, where you got a chef and then you got all these other assistants that's helping. But
Vito,
Yes,
is
sir.
it too many chefs in the kitchen?
Mm-mm. I don't think so. Here's why I don't think so, and here's why I like the amount of chefs you have in the kitchen. I used to work in restaurants. 5-star restaurants usually have two main cooks on staff, like two head cooks. It's usually one, and then there's the assistant to him, or there's two head cooks because the kitchen is very large and they're covering more than one man dish. Like Leo said, there's sous chefs. They are chefs in the making. I can't call what they are because I'm slipping my mind at the moment. But there are apprentices that are there as well. Everybody has a role. The servers are just important. The busboys are important. Everybody has a role in this kitchen. So even though you're in the kitchen, that does not mean that you are cooking. Uh, the ID backs coach, I tight end coach. Those are two of our younger coaching positions. I don't think that their input goes unnoticed or unlistened to, but I do think that they are likely to be the second or third voices, if not immediately who the players go to. The players talk to them. They then talk to the veteran coaches. The veteran coaches then relay the messages out to the players. I think that will be like that in this situation with Cliff Kingsbury. If there's anything that goes wrong, maybe you aren't able to get this done in the same game. As far as, let's say that if Cliff or Brian are calling a bad game and one of those guys needs to take the play calling, maybe that doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't happen in the same game year one because these guys have to get used to each other. But let's see if that can build from that point on. I think that, at least with us having the people, you can go into halftime and make serious adjustments because there's a level that you can, and as a coach that you can go to directly and say, hey, my defensive line, or hey, my defensive tackles, not even just my defensive line, my defensive tackles. There may be an assistant or a coach that can directly go to Daryl Tapp and say, hey, look, I've been talking to the guys. I got our rookie, you know what I'm saying? We want our rookie to come in the second half and kind of start the second half up, man. Maybe Jonathan need a little bit of air or something like that. That where players aren't able to tell the coaches or just don't feel like they have the time before those 15 minutes are up, before halftime is up.
So you're going to say no, there's
No,
not.
it's not.
Um,
I think where you might feel like there may be too many, those are backups. So I think it's like having
how do, let me ask
you got too many chefs on staff, but they don't all work on the same day, if that makes sense.
Well, let me ask you this. How does the seniority go on offense where you have Kingsbury, you have Johnson, you have the offensive line coach, then you have Kingsbury, Johnson, the offensive line coach, and then you still have what's his name from the Chargers?
Anthony Lynn.
You still got Anthony Lynn.
All right, so here's the thing.
How does this all
the
work?
Brian Johnson is your assistant head coach.
Passing game. So does he have any say on the run?
Go look at his title. He's still assistant head coach though.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, I'm going to say that this is not the Bieniemy assistant head coach how we saw last year, talking trash back to Del Rio and stuff. We'll say that this is the the assistant head coach. And I looked this up. The rules for not the rules, but the job of the assistant head coach is basically to set up practice. you set up practice, you write the order out for practice where everybody's stations and stuff like that is, so that just to keep the coach is gonna let you know what we want to work on. The assistant head coach sets up the practice so that everything for the coach to walk out and walk in the order of what he wants to see and things like that. So he was able to keep the Eagles not only be their passing game coordinator and their offensive coordinator in 1 year, but also to design their the way that they approach practice. So I think that that's important as well, especially for some of the young guys we got with Mariota being a former quarterback with him. I just think that we'll like I said, we'll be able to line up. We'll be able to be in a place where we need to be at. And then for us trying to run a no huddle is very exciting. If anybody's watched our team over the last 3 seasons, I believe, we actually 4 seasons, even to give Rivera some credit when Alex Smith was there, we just really did good in 2-minute warnings and when we were running no huddle. Whenever that happened to be, we usually did very well. There were maybe a few turnovers here and there at that time, but we were very efficient over the last few years in no huddle or 2-minute offense, whether it be the first half or even at the end of the game. And more so right before halftime, we were really, really, really good. And if we can try to catch some of these teams off guard because we're going to play fast, I think that this does benefit us because nobody in our division really has nailed getting that down since Chip Kelly tried to do it with the Eagles.
I think the Cowboys did really well with it last year. I'm gonna be honest. I think they did really well with it. Even last year when they were down 28-0 in the playoff game, they got back into that game somewhat because of the no huddle offense. That's how their offense got to moving now. Their defense still couldn't stop anybody. Couldn't stop the Packers in that playoff game at no point. But their offense did get it going a little bit in the second half and late in the first half.
Well, what I don't want us to do, what the Cowboys did last year, and what I don't want us to do is get pass happy and not mix in the run. I don't mind being fast with the no huddle, but you got to be able to mix in the run. Now, the thing is that who on the offensive line is going to sub in and out? Because it's a very tough job for offensive linemen to go from mauling in the run game and then dropping back in the pass game.
Well, depends on. Let me say this: depends on what you running with that with your hurry up. So if you are mixing a lot of runs in there, it's a lot easier for real for a lineman to set up on a quick snap than him to sit there for a hut and then man in motion and all of that. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot easier.
But they're supposed to be doing a lot of motion too, though.
Huh?
I said they're supposed to be doing a lot of motion too.
Yeah, even if it's a lot of motion, just the long snap count sometimes can be a little bit more taxing physically than a quick snap. So if you're in hurry up, a lot of times that be quick snap. You get your play in and you want to snap it as fast as possible because the idea is to keep the defense off balance. So sometimes that's better for offensive linemen physically than it would be in a cap situation, longer count situation. You know, just my opinion on the count part. Everything else though, I agree with you 1,000,000%. But
you can make more on the line adjustments too as well. Whenever you got want to hurry up, you know, somebody like Peyton Manning can want to hurry up and then adjust everything at the line, and it'll make it a lot more easier and it's a lot more effective if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you're just wasting less time. So less time sometimes mean more energy for your lineman. So that's just my philosophy too. It's like a two-way street. Yeah, you can stay, you don't have to run hurry up. And you can keep the ball for a long time, but that's a longer time your offense is out there on the field. You're starting lineman. Especially if it's early in the game. So I think it's a double-edged sword. I don't mind them running hurry up. As long as Jaden Daniel has the autonomy to call his own plays at the line of scrimmage, then I approve it. If he does not, then I do not approve it because he can get up there and see something that ain't right. And he has no ability to change anything. He has to go along with the bad play. That I don't approve of.
I think football has moved forward a lot now. I think that they got access to, especially with Jaden doing that virtual training, that is something that I did notice that Kingsbury said. And we only watched Brian Robinson and Kingsbury, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, so Kingsbury said it. He likes how fast, like how far ahead he is right now. And I always think that that's good for, and again, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're trying to put more pressure on the shoulders or anything like that, but I just like the fact that he's prepared in a way that he seems like that COVID year allowed him to mature and kind of approach this as a veteran rookie, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like we're getting like a second year rookie, you could say, even though he's a rookie, But if that's the case, he should start week 1 then. If you feel like he's that much ahead or he's taking extra steps or doing, I mean, to me, there should be no excuse for him starting week 1, if that's the case.
With what you've said, they've given me nothing to believe that they don't feel confident right now with that. And that's not any shade or slight to Mariota at all.
Right.
That's really giving again, like we tell any of the guys and any of the kids, this is a job. So let's just say that Mariota and Jaden Daniels showed up for a job interview, same day, same time. The energy that this guy, the professionalism that Mariota's bringing in, that's one. But the energy that this guy is bringing in and the excitement that he's causing other players to have, I don't know that you let that sit more than starting him week 1.
Right. Right. Yeah, I totally agree.
How I felt about Heineke and how Chase Young like brought energy into the Heineke coming into the game. I feel like people are talking about Jaden Daniels with a very high excitement about him being the quarterback for the Washington football team.
And and like you said, if this is what people are excited about, why tamper with that? Why not try to use that energy in order to bring something more positive? In order to bring new energy and more energy from other players where, otherwise you wouldn't have had the same excitement.
Hey, I have no argument there. I have none at all.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go to Zach Ertz, veteran tight end. He's coming over with Cliff Kingsbury. He was the tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. He previously for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's come to Washington in his first season. He does plan to start, but with the drafting of Ben Sinnott, we don't know how that's going to go. So let's just listen in on what Zach Ertz has to say as the new tight end for the Washington football team.
And so, yeah, it's been great. Extremely excited to be here, fortunate to be here. And so, yeah, it's been great.
Is there something different about this one?
I mean, there's many layers, obviously. I don't know if I want to dive into all of them, but I think the ownership that he's putting on the players, Coach Quinn is putting on the players to really mold this to our image and how we want this thing to go. It's really going to be something that the players are able to hold each other, I would say, accountable to. The standards are very clear. And also the energy, every coach. It's not just one coach bringing juice. All the coaches have it. It's almost like a prereq. Every morning they have their little staff meeting and say, how much energy are we going to bring today? So it's been fun. It's been really fun to be a part of, and just really good people first, and obviously really good football players.
You said year 12. You got a quarterback who's going in the year 0.1.
Yeah.
Your early impressions of Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, obviously we're just getting to know each other. But right off the bat, you can tell he's an extremely talented player. The talent kind of jumps out at you when you're out on the field with him. The arm talent is there. But also he really, really cares about this thing. He wants to be as good as he can possibly be. He's working his butt off. I know he's doing a lot behind the scenes to make himself as prepared as possible, working with as many coaches as he can. And so I've been really impressed so far.
And a Cliff Kingsbury offense, what are your early impressions?
I mean, I've been in this offense before, so my impressions are that they're a little different than with some of the stuff we did in Arizona. But overall, we always want to be on the attack. He wants to put guys in situations to be successful. He's not going to ask any of us to do something that we're not comfortable with or really good at. And so he's going to maximize our potential as individuals, and then it's up to us to go make plays.
DQ talked about mentorship with the veterans and the rookies. Obviously, you're a vet. You've been through the fires. How are you trying to take that leadership role to like a Ben or a Cole, the younger guys in that locker room?
I mean, I think I just try, and it's not like I'm out there holding their hand by any means. I try and pull them aside and say, hey, this is how I would maybe do this. This is what I think you can maybe work on. But first, you got to have a personal relationship with someone. Know that I care about them. It's not just me being the salty vet that's out there trying to tell them what to do every play, because they got a coach for that. I'm just trying to help them in any way I can. It's something that at this stage in my career, I think I've taken a lot more pride in now than maybe I did when I was younger. And so I'm just trying to maximize this team. Anyway, anyone I can help, not only tight ends, but any skill position player, even a defensive guy that I think he could do this a little better. He's giving me a tell. I want to be as open as possible, because that's what guys are going to remember. People aren't going to remember my stats, my yards, my catches when I'm done. Hopefully they remember the relationships that I have with them. And so that's what I'm trying to develop.
This franchise is trying to build a winning culture. You've been to the mountaintop. What are some of those key ingredients to build that culture?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all starts on the practice field, honestly. You got to have your best players be your hardest workers. You got to be able to go out there and practice extremely hard, and not just one time a week, but you got to consistently demand excellence on the practice field. And I think I would say we're laying the groundwork for that. The best teams I've been a part of have been the hardest working teams. And so I think that starts at the top with not only the guys that they bring in, AP brings in, and Dan kind of sets the standard, but the vets got to set the leadership, how this thing is going to go. And we're going to push each other to be the best version of ourselves that we can.
What differences have you seen in this offense here versus in Arizona?
I mean, we're at the base level right now. Obviously, we've only been here for a month, so it's very. I would say there's a lot of carryover. But as we get going, as we get into more of a game plan, I'm sure it's going to change here and there. But this offense has been successful in this league, so it's not like he needs to come in, Cliff, and revamp this whole thing. He's had success in this league. Obviously, we didn't accomplish our ultimate goals in Arizona of winning the Super Bowl, but we're hoping to do that here.
What kind of a teacher is he, and is it different for him being an OC versus a head coach when you're with him before?
I mean, I think everyone changes as they go. Obviously, Arizona was a unique experience for him, for myself. And I know we're both extremely excited to be here. We definitely have a chip on our shoulder. I do, at least. And he's definitely teaching a lot. He's excited to work with the quarterbacks. You can feel his energy each and every day that he's out there with the guys. I think he's just, all of us are excited to be here.
You talked about the chip on your shoulder for Cliff coming back to the NFL. DQ's talked repeatedly about getting a second chance at being a head coach. Is that like a community vibe? Like how does everybody reflect that a little bit with this group?
You mean the chip on the shoulder mentality?
Yeah, just the whole team almost.
I mean, we all have a story, right? We've all been either doubted or whatever it is. Even Jaden transferred. I don't know the story in college, but he started at ASU, ended up at LSU. Even though he was a second overall pick, I'm sure he overcame some extreme adversity in his life. And so how do you muster that into positive energy instead of negative energy? And for me, obviously, this is my third team, essentially. And so I do have a chip on my shoulder. Last year didn't go the way I wanted it to. The last year in Arizona didn't go the way I wanted it to by any means. And so I can only speak for myself, obviously. But you learn all those things. They're almost scars per se, and you feel them every day, and they craft your mentality. They craft your identity. And obviously my faith is a big part of me. But also I feel like that experience has changed my outlook, and I'm extremely excited for this year.
Another probably too early question, but Ben Sinnott coming in. Any early thoughts on him, and how do you guys kind of see the pieces you have all kind of fitting together?
I mean, yeah, like you said, it's very early. I saw him for a day, essentially, today. And we were in two different fields for most of it. But, I mean, obviously, they really like him. He was a second-round pick for a reason. I was a second-round pick. So, obviously, hopefully he can have an amazing career. I'm here to help him in any way I can. Colson is a heck of an athlete as well. And we got a lot of young, talented tight ends in the room. I'm kind of the guy that wants to be a voice in their ear if they have questions or if they have anything that they want to bounce off me. But it's my job to be the best version of myself first and also help build them up as well. Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right, baby. That's Zach Ertz. Big Ertz, baby. I liked a few things of what he said. I liked a few things of what he said. I still think the DC media is playing on trying to be funny a little bit. Yeah, I know what you got for the young guys. I know you here to make your money and get your money, but what you got for the young guys? Nobody want to hear that, man. I don't want to be talking about them. This is my time. You ask me some questions about me. What you ask me about somebody else for? I don't. So we're gonna swing it around the room for whoever's still with us. What y'all got on the Zach Ertz interview?
I like the interview. It sounds like he's ready and willing to give a helping hand to the new guys. Like you said, even if it's on defense, he's looking to help guys out and what they can do better. He's hard on himself, so that means he's willing to put in the work. Like you said, he didn't like his last few years around the league. He's ready to make up for that. And he said he knows that, Ben was drafted or whatever. So they're pretty high on the guy because he was drafted high like that. So he doesn't mind that. He's actually okay with it. So I like his attitude about teaching the young guys, being a leader, being a vocal guy, not afraid to speak up when a voice needs to be heard. So I like hearing that about him. If I could say anything about the interview, I would say what Roe was saying, like media, stop trying to be funny. Like this is serious business around here. We already got other stuff on the table around here. Y'all already know that he's gonna be one, and it's not gonna be right behind him too. And there's gonna be multiple times where there's gonna be two tight end set this year, and then two guys are going to be on the field together playing it. Two tight ends. Um, I like his interview. He sounds another guy who sounds real that not on Brian's level, but on his level, he's very mature. Been in the league some time, man. He's been to that mountaintop, so he knows that hard work that you need to put in to get to that mountaintop. Like you say, you got to have your top guys coming to work every day, playing their best ball, um, having effort like that in the building, and guys, like you say, everybody got a story, but it's trying to make a new one. So, I like heard a interview, very, very good responses. So, again, another very good interview. I liked it.
Yeah, I like that interview for sure. I definitely like the interview for sure. I definitely like the interview for sure. I like much of what he said. So we swinging around the room. Who else? Who you got something else on Cle on who was that? That was Zach Ertz. Got anything else on Zach Ertz? Anybody?
Yeah, I like what Zachary said. You know what I mean? Hopefully, he's going to be one of the guys that train the younger guys. Get the younger guys to really come into the system. And I think with Ben Sinat, he's going to be able to learn because Zach Ertz is not coming here to just kind of sit on the bench. You know what I mean? He's coming here to play. So, like, he's going to push him in that regard because sometimes you get older players and they not really here to hit a play. They here to get a check. And I don't think that Zach Ertz is just necessarily here for a check. I think he wants to actually contribute on the team. Him working with some of these other guys, I think that is him having a history with some of the guys. I think that that's a really good thing. And I think that he can really build on that. That's something that's going to be really effective for him because he can kind of like, he can put himself in a position of where you know. He can put him in a position of where like you can benefit of having somebody that you're familiar with. You know what their work style is. You know what they like to do. You know what they don't like as well. You know.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Again, DC media, I feel like are doing what they normally do, bringing up the questions they probably shouldn't be bringing up, but they bringing them up anyway. So, shout out to Zach Ertz for really handling that well, handling those things well, handling that media well. You're gonna have to do that as long as you in Washington trust and believe. They looking at every little thing. Vito, you got something on this Zach Ertz interview?
Nah, go ahead right now.
All right. So, from my perspective, is I like the way that, especially the part where about mentoring young players. I don't think the media should ask a stupid question like that. No, he doesn't want to mentor nobody else, nobody to help him take his job. No, he doesn't want to do it. But if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. I mean, for me, at least being realistic. If I'm him in his career, maybe I am looking at the draft position where they drafted this other guy and saying, hey, whether I like it or not, this other guy's going to get a legitimate shot. So so it's better for me to help this guy because he can help our team. And the further that we go as a unit, then I can be looked at some point in time. And maybe if it's not here, then elsewhere, I could get a better job based on the success of the team, if not the success of my personal,
Well, no,
individual.
I disagree. I don't think that like he is in a point of mentorship with Ben Sinnott, and he knows that though. I think that he came in knowing that he is going to be the older leader of one of the older players in the league. It's not like he's a young player. He's still one of the older players in the league now. So he understands his role. So I don't think that it's more of a thing where he's not worried. I don't think he's worried about his next destination. I think he's kind of looking at this destination as being probably one of his last.
I agree. But even if he's looking at it as one of his last, he realistically, he's like, the better that the team does, the better it will look for me. Basically, the better that the team does, the better it looks for me. And it's nothing wrong with that if you're Zach Ertz. That's the smart play. Because maybe you don't have the 800, 900-yard season this year. However, you do have 10 touchdowns and you guys win 10 games. Now people will be looking at you regardless of whether you like it or not. People will be looking at you for your services because they know that 10 touchdowns, even if it came on 15 attempts. Give me the red zone targets. Allow for me to do what I do. If it's not doing red zone time, allow me to block. Give me some running calls where I can block and get these guys blocked up. That looks good on me too, moving forward, because tight ends who can block are an anonymously. If I'm saying that right, no, I'm not. But still, y'all know what I'm trying to say. They're rare. Tight ends that block are rare in the NFL. So if you can get a tight end that's really setting the edge, giving your running back some lanes to roll through, I believe that's valuable as well as a veteran tight end. So I think it's two angles that Ertz can play. I don't think the media was respectable when asking so many questions about the other guys and helping the other guys. That man don't want to help nobody. A man trying to keep a job for himself and his family. And that's what he's supposed to be focused on. Ultimately. I might have talked trash before, but let's be realistic with this. This man trying to keep a job too. He got mouths to feed too. So, shout out to Zach Ertz. Everybody out there listening to Nature Sports Podcast, bringing y'all that good Redskins action. We're going to have our last interview for today. It's going to be Johan Dotson. And that should conclude our interview section.
We're not going to do Javon.
No, we got a couple guys. We got, you said Baptiste?
Yeah, Javon St. Baptiste. We gotta do him last though because he was the only person that interviewed after OTAs.
All right. It's a couple guys. Okay, so we ain't gonna go to Dotson right now. We're gonna go to Louvu since we on the defensive side. Since we did all offense so far. We did Cliff Kingsbury, we did Zach Ertz, and also Brian Robinson. So we're gonna do defense this time. We're gonna go to Frankie Louvu and get what the former Carolina Panther got to say. He's coming from Carolina. Great season last year. Carolina actually ended up 2-14. So, and he swapped over for us, I believe, for a better opportunity to win. So this is Frankie Louvu, the former Carolina Panther, outstanding linebacker. A lot of good reviews on him. A lot of good things that people have said about him before joining this team. So, with that being said, we're gonna let Louvu have the floor. Roll with it.
Man, the dude is it's like a treasure box, man. You never know what kind of you're gonna get with him, But man, he's just real at the end of the day. He's just always there trying to help the young guys and also myself, but the team as well. So,
Frankie, what are your early impressions of the playbook scheme? Just getting after it so far.
Thank you. Sorry, you said it again. Sorry.
What are your early impressions of the playbook and the scheme?
Oh, it's fun, man. They got us flying around, playing fast, not thinking too much, and I think that's the main goal. Having us on defense is be on one side and flying to the ball all 11. It's going to have us where we want to go.
And being on the other side with Jaden Daniels, just what have you seen from him so far?
Man, I haven't seen a lot of him as we're kind of split up from today. But I seen this tape, man. Can't see the rookie to take us.
What are your impressions of kind of the speed and the enthusiasm at practice, and all the noise and all the coaches kind of wanting to keep things moving and going fast?
Yeah, man, it's all about energy. It's gonna be a long season, but like I said, man, all we got is all we need, and that type of environment you want to keep around us. And every day DQ and the whole coaching staff and the whole operation have us coming into it with the right mindset and leading to.
DQ has a reputation of moving guys around, really versatile players. How much do you hope you get a really versatile role, and what all could that include?
Man, wherever you put me at. I told DQ, man, just put me wherever you want me to be. And I'm gonna pursue whatever position I'm gonna be at and move on forward from it, man. But just a blessing to be around the guys, man. That's all I am.
What in particular have you learned from Bobby already, whether it's study or anything like that?
Big thing is about his habits, his routine. He's big on routine, how he take care of his body, how he watch tape, how he's eating, and it makes me like year 7. Looking at that, man, like, man, he's doing it at a high level right now. Why not stick to that?
So is there something you've already incorporated into your routine because of that?
Well, just a lot more of after field work. After practice, I'll get things I'm not good at or trying to get work on. I'll stay back and work with him on that.
Anything in particular?
I mean, just more knowing splits of receivers, knowing where I'm out of the field, situational football.
Cool. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, one more. Sorry, just the buy-in from the vets, from the rookies. I mean, this is technically voluntary, right? OTAs, but everybody's here buying in, putting in the work. What does that show?
Man, it shows a lot of guys just buying in and having the main goal. Keeping the main thing, and having all guys here says a lot, man. It's voluntary, like you said, but having guys out here, man, it's going to take us where we want to be, and we put in the work now for later.
All right, thanks, Frankie.
Appreciate y'all.
Frankie Louisville, formerly of the Carolina Panthers, speaking about exactly what he's seeing in OTAs and the things and how things are going for him. What y'all got on Frankie Louisville?
All right, see now, I'll be investigating. I'm a little scattered with this right now. How is Frankie Louisville so busy that he didn't get a chance to see the starting quarterback or Jaden Daniels? He had Bobby Wagner did. Help me to understand how the linebackers are in the same room together, and one linebacker saw the quarterback, another one didn't.
Well, this is this.
Oh, you know what? I take that back. You ain't got to answer it for me, bro. It's the rookie OTAs. The veterans don't have to be there, so
right.
It's not mandatory for them to have been right. You know what I'm saying? All in the same spot and stuff like that. So
yeah, no, the rookie camp and the vet camp was different. It was
right.
separate. If Bobby Wagner seen Jaden Daniels, that means Bobby Wagner went out of his way.
Yeah, exactly.
Link up with Jaden Daniels or to go just see his play or see whatever, it had to be about it. And more than likely that is Dan Quinn going to Bobby and saying, look, Bobby, we need the kid to be ready.
I don't even know if that's Dan. I think that might be Bobby by himself.
Right.
I mean, it might be Bobby by himself, but I'm talking about as far as the conversation of the quarterback on the defense with the quarterback on the offense. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm pretty sure that Dan Quinn and Bobby Wagner has had that conversation about getting Jaden Daniels ready, just in the best way he can. And the quarterback of the defense definitely needs to initiate, especially if he's a vet, initiate with the young quarterback. And I think that Dan Quinn is very big on communication between two players. But Bobby is definitely a leader, so of course I think he'd do it on his own, and It's not like he made him do it or anything like that. I think he went and did it on his own. But at the same time, I think that has something to do with it. It plays a factor, I would say.
I agree. I agree. Um, I like the interview. I wanted to see what he thought. Now, let me say this. What stood out to me, and this is also what stood out to me in other interviews, is the play fast part. I get it. Play fast, but man, that misdirection is, I mean, if you playing fast, not a lot of thinking, what happens when that misdirection come into play? That, I mean, that's how Dallas got ate up. If you ask me, against the Packers in in that playoff game. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Misdirection, the fakes, the stuff like that. Will our defense be able to handle that? Because that Dallas defense had trouble with it. That's why they had trouble with San Francisco. They didn't beat, when Dan Quinn was there the whole time he was in Dallas, they never beat San Francisco.
But Dan Quinn ain't had Bobby either in Dallas. It's different than a Bobby Wagner defense. And I'm not saying that
I agree with that.
I'm not saying that.
I said that last year. Go ahead, Leo. I'm gonna remember what I got to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's just him, but when you got a veteran at that middle linebacker position that has seen the misdirection, has seen a lot of the stuff, and then you got somebody like you got other players on the team that's veterans as well, that's dealt with misdirection. Even when you playing fast, you still got a guy that's like a safety net that kind of still is going to be very aware. You know?
I hear you.
So I was saying that last year, if y'all recall that when the Cowboys were playing, period, like outside of when we played them, but when they played, period, that yes, Michael was having a ton of success at defensive end, but let's not all remember that he played linebacker predominantly in college. And that second level linebacker, if y'all remember when they had Jalen Smith at linebacker, I hated him, bruh. He covered sideline to sideline masterfully, in my opinion. Some plays he did overrun a little bit, but he was really good at that second level. And once you put Parsons on the defensive line, I didn't find Dallas to have anybody that was a threat that couldn't get beat at the second level. And that's just something that they haven't had in the last few seasons, where they only had one level of intimidation, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure with that.
But that,
And I
so
think,
you're
and
saying that it's
honestly,
not going to be a problem for us. That's basically what both of y'all saying. That
no.
misdirection will not be a problem. That's what y'all prediction is.
Yeah, no.
No, I think that it's a problem for all NFL teams, realistically. But like, is it going to be a glaring problem where it's our weakness? No, it's not going to be our weakness. I mean, is it going to
I
be a
say yeah.
problem realistically?
I say yeah.
Realistically, yes. That's how all NFL teams are. NFL offenses now, they go by misdirection. They go by get your defense to do this so our offense can do this.
I think with Bobby liking Frankie, like in saying that he was kind of drawn to him right now, the closest. I think that you don't get misdirection, because if it's gonna come, I doubt that it runs back towards Luvu and Wagner. It'd have to be going against them to Jamin Davis side.
But
Davis is pretty
Jamin,
good against misdirection, though. I'm not. That's the one person I'm not
no, Jamin's gonna
fearful
from
of
what
when it
they
comes to misdirection. He can handle it.
from what they saying, Jamin Davis is gonna have um the Mika Parsons role.
I don't think you can replicate that.
I mean, that's what they've been talking about, like on like from what I've seen. Even Dan Quinn, I think it was at, don't get me wrong, it was definitely before the draft, but I think it was at the Senior Bowl or something like that. They just got very high praises for Jamin Davis going downhill. And he's
I
going
like
to
Jamin Davis
basically be
going
moved around, going downhill, basically rushing the quarterback, and not as much in coverage as he was over
Yeah,
the
that's
last
code
couple
word for we
years.
got to get him out of the secondary.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
actually like him rushing the passer, though. I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie.
He's
I
going to
think
be
he
rushing the
definitely
passer a
will
lot.
rush the passer.
In my opinion, I think that if I was me, I would wait until OTAs was complete and we were getting ready for our first preseason game. I do understand and I do think that he should have some success going downhill rushing the passer. But I do want to point out that one of his strongest points when drafted was his ability to play in coverage. And I do not think that Rivera and Del Rio did a good job with disguising ways to put him in ability, and you know what I'm saying, putting him in space to try to make a play on the ball. To try to cover somebody like out the flat, I don't think that that's where his best attribute was. But like to play zone, being able to face the quarterback or face the ball, I think he played well like that. And I don't think we've seen a lot of situations where he's had the opportunity to do that.
No, he did. He played in coverage a lot last year, only in coverage. They didn't blitz him. So basically, that was his problem. It's like we see jamming, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it was a lot of them in the flat, like you're saying, but we see jamming, we know he's not blitzing. And because they know he's not blitzing, like that changes his whole game. Because now when you see him out on the field and you know he's not coming downhill, well, I'm not looking at that side to blitz, or I'm not looking at, you know what I mean?
Well,
It's just a telltale.
you gotta remember that they were tanking last year. And essentially, if you get rid of your two best pass rushers and pretty much all of your pass rush, you don't have a reason for running Jamin Davis in the flat. He needs to be playing man defense. If he's in the flat, the only reason why your linebacker is jetting out to the flat is because the ball is supposed to be coming out fast, and that's his assignment. Anytime you see a running back get hit by the linebacker, is because the linebacker is already going to the running back as soon as the ball is hiked. If Jamin has to read what's coming out the backfield and look at what's going on, that's way too much coverage for a linebacker to do in today's NFL, in my opinion. But again, going downhill, I believe with you guys is going to be a bonus just for the fact that you get a chance to have some fun. Every linebacker wants to hunt the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Nobody at a linebacker wants to be put in coverage intentionally. You kind of like want to have a feel for that. Like they're going there because there's nothing else open, or our rusher's giving him these many problems and he's got to roll out to throw the ball to this only available, you know what I'm saying, receiver.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Again, I think it's interesting.
And to me, I don't know if I like that as much unless Luvu has that from linebacker to in the backfield speed that I did see on tape a couple of times, but he was the one that was rushing a lot in Carolina. That's why he was able to get so many tackles for losses. And it doesn't mean that Luvu can't come because Jamin is going. You know what I'm saying? You got Chins, you got the Martins, you got other people that can play in coverage. It's really going to be interesting to see. There's so many different variations of guys that could bring pressure and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to see what they put together.
Yeah, right now it looked like he's gonna be rushing downhill a lot. It looks like Sandstrill is gonna be in the slot a lot, and somebody else that's been playing the slot with Sandstrill is the rookie that we just drafted, Dominique Hampton. So
Okay.
he's been in the slot a lot as well, playing that slot position. You would have thought that it might have been Jeremy Chin, but Jeremy Chin has been strong safety throughout OTAs. And
No,
so
come on.
when you think about what's going on as far as coverage wise, more than likely they're going to run a lot of nickel where you'll have Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu in the middle, and then they'll have that what I call the dead star, or that's the nickel cornerback, that nickel cornerback. So those would be personnel as far as with those two, and then when you think about edge rushers and stuff like that, then I think that that's going to rotate quite a bit. Given that we got a lot of edge rushers.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the coverage side of it, right now it's been Quan Martin and Jeremy Chin playing safety, and they've been swapping out the corners, and then Mike Sandstrill and Dominique Hampton been on that nickel corner, and Caillou Blue
Yeah,
Kelly, or whatever his name is.
he's trash.
No, they said he been doing good in OTAs though. They said he been balling in that spot.
And that's just product of we was running some wild stuff last year that we wasn't supposed to be running because he was getting bumped, yo.
Yeah, they said he been actually playing really good in that spot. Um, when you think about like what's been going on as far as when OTAs, it's like nobody has had their locked in spot. And right now, like Forbes hasn't been on that first team. It's been Michael Davis and Benjamin St. Juice. But Anusium, the undrafted free agent that we got, he also been on that first team once or twice as well. So it's like with the corners, I think they trying to figure out the corners, but the linebackers pretty much locked in. Bobby and Frankie.
Hey, he only gave up 30 catches all year. He got a 3% completion rate again. He
Who you
never
talking
got
about?
yards all season.
Who you talking about?
Zuzium.
Oh yeah. He been jumping on that first team every now and then as well. So like when you really break it down, you never know. I think he'll probably make the team.
Yeah,
Um,
no, he was on some. I looked at his college tape when I went to the undrafted on him. The dude, Rosemary Saint Jack Saint. He,
yeah,
he he had a good OTA. That cornerback you was talking about, he had a good OTA, and like from his college tape was real good. They
they
didn't
said
even
the
they
they
didn't
said De'Ami Brown been having a good OTA too.
that's because his job on the line. That's what I want. I want competition. That's good.
Yeah, they said De'Ami Brown been balling. Honestly, him, Luke, and what's his name? Him, Luke, is one more person that's been showing off in OTAs from what they say. As far as wide receiver.
All right.
Ain't no surprise. Ain't no surprise if you ask me. I think De'Ami Brown is good. I think Johan Dawson is good. That pass from Jaden Daniels. I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to look at it, or if the Redskin fans out there got a chance to peek in. But that's a solid catch.
Yeah, it's a pretty good catch. I mean, Dodson said he been in training since like right after the season, like in February or something like that. I think he said he went in training. So if he wasn't satisfied with his numbers last year, this year he'd probably be good.
Speaking of Dawson, might as well segue into his interview. Segue right on into Dawson's interview. We do have Johan Dawson coming up. Might as well.
We're really a team. We got to come together as soon as possible so we can make things happen when the games roll around in the regular season. So it's been really good energy, really good vibes around the building, and it's really exciting times.
And for first impressions of Jaden.
Oh yeah, he's great. I don't know if I can say this, but that's the quarterback that I wanted. But yeah, I was happy when we drafted him. I'm really looking forward to building a relationship with him, furthering our relationship as I've known him in the past. But he's been good so far. He's only been here a couple of days now, but yeah, he has big things coming for him.
Because I'm older.
So I've known him since I was coming out in the draft. We were training together before he transferred to LSU, and we were down in Arizona. So we built a little relationship there. And then, yeah, I kept up with him while he was at LSU. Obviously, he was the best player in college football last year. So, yeah, it was really cool that we got to team up and go at it this year. He's really good. He makes us feel comfortable. That's a big thing, I would say, for myself, being able to feel comfortable in the routes that I'm able to run. He really helps us like play to our strengths. That's really what you want in a coach, someone who knows your capability and what you can do on the field and tries to maximize it. And I feel like he does a great job of that.
What do you think of the offense is putting in?
Yeah, he's making it very simplistic for us right now. And that's really nice as we're going to build on it during the season, obviously. But right now, we're kind of getting the basics of the offense, and we're kind of moving slow with it, but having a sense of urgency while learning it. So it's been really fun, and going against the defense now, doing 7-on-7 periods is pretty cool.
How different a field is this season?
Yeah, so far it's a lot different. I mean, both when you have new coaching staffs, there's always a lot of positive energy at first. But right now I feel like the coaches are doing a great job with the morale of the team, making sure that every day we walk into the building, we walk in with a purpose, and everyone. It seems like everyone has a smile on their face all day. So it's honestly it's contagious. It's really great vibes around the building, and it makes me really excited for what we have planned this year.
Jahan, obviously, building that chemistry between a quarterback and receiver is of the utmost importance. What's the fastest way for you and your core to be able to do that with whoever your quarterback is?
Yeah, I would say building a relationship outside of the football field. Getting to know each other, getting to know what your quarterback likes to do, and then just talking through things in the film room. What I feel like the ultimate, thing that will get us clicking the fastest is reps. Reps out on the field is probably the best way that we're gonna build a connection.
Speaking of shit, I'm cloud on this pole, goddamn drunk off shirt off.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of my season last year. So I went really hard at it this offseason, making sure that I'm better than I was last year, a lot better, because I have really high expectations for myself, and I hold myself to a very high standard. So I've been at it since about February. So I'm really excited, and I come in every day and just try to put the work in so that I can reap the benefits. My overall play, I just didn't feel like myself, but yeah, I'm starting to feel like getting my swagger back a little bit. So I'm getting really excited.
All right, thanks, y'all. Last one, Nicky.
Oh, you didn't close your doors today?
Yeah. Shout out to my coach, Coach Joey, strength coach at FAU. He's helping me get right this offseason. Just building my play strength, getting faster, and then I'm gonna work on just running routes and stuff. Obviously, coming up this summer, so it's gonna be good.
How much that shit cost? I'm get my brain still.
All right, y'all. That's Johan Dotson. Coming live and direct from the Redskins on this Nature Sports podcast Wednesday. Just wanted to hear what he had to say. I liked a lot of what he had to say personally. I do think that he seems genuine in what he says regarding the other players and regarding his role. I think he seems genuine when he said he didn't like his season last year and that he has high expectations for himself. I think he's genuine in much of his approach to trying to get better. And so I'm gonna applaud that interview with Johan Dotson. What you got? I'm swinging around the room. What you guys got on Johan Dotson and his interview?
I loved it. I loved it. Thought it was an amazing interview. I think that the importance, again, like I said, of the high praises that I believe that Jaden Daniels is getting with him saying that, everybody is trusting him, with him feeling like, hey, nah, this is the guy that I wanted. It goes to show the team themselves outside of the owner or the GM has faith in the pick. They believe in his skill set. Again, not having a quarterback for so many years, at least one of consistency, even though Sam Howell did play a whole season last year. Kudos to him. I don't take that away from him. I think that the team, especially these players that haven't gotten to some of the places that they've expected to do, they really want somebody that's going to bring that change that makes them feel comfortable, in Washington. And Jaden right now, even though he has more work to do, has given them that confidence that makes them feel like that's going to be the best shot for them to win. This is without equipment on and all of that. But again, a kid making reads that NFL veterans or what you would like veterans to be able to make and making them at a high rate is really good. And I just think that it speaks volumes for himself outside of the organization. The change of the culture, I think he took the assignment on based on how he's come in already because he's putting in work that you just don't see everybody do.
Right. Absolutely. What y'all got on Jaden Daniels? Point, big time.
Oh no, Jahan Dawson. I think it was
I
a
mean
great
Dawson.
interview.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
my
think it was a
accountability.
great interview. Oh my bad. Go ahead, big son.
No, that was me. I was just saying my biggest take from him was his accountability, like for last year and what he expected to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that this year, I think he wants to do a lot better. He wants to contribute a lot more, and I think that he feels that last year wasn't his best effort, even in a tanking season. See, we've been talking about the tanking season throughout this time, but this is one of the first players that stepped up and said, you know what, I didn't like what I had last year. I didn't like what I did last year. It didn't sit well with me, so I went back to work earlier than what is expected to for us as professionals. So the accountability that V's talking about, that's definitely something that shined through in that interview right there, because I think that he is very, very, very prepared. Um, Probably unlike he's been prepared before, especially with him and Jaden Daniels um, having an early connection. Him, saying this the guy that I wanted, and I'm pretty sure that he let Jaden know. And if he didn't know before that, now he does know this the guy I wanted to draft. This the guy that I wanted to move forward with as an organization. So I really like the interview. I think that Jahan Dotson, if he continues to grow, man, he might be a problem this year, especially if with the way he talked about Kingsbury and talked about the coaches allowing them to do the things that they are good at and the things that they like to do as well. So, I mean, I look forward to be a big year for him.
Okay. Okay. Big son, you got something? Can you still with us? You ain't gonna get big son again. So I guess I'll go. Again, I like the interview. I liked much of what Dotson had to say regarding his own, especially himself. We could sit there and talk about what we see out of another player all day, but for him to analyze himself like that was really good. Analyze what he wanted to work on, where he wants his own career to go. I think that's really positive. I think that's a really positive sign out of any player when they say, "Oh, regardless of what else is happening around me, this is the things that I need to work on for me." I believe as long as they're doing that, then the output is going to be there. I believe when you get distracted by this, the line ain't playing good, the running backs ain't playing good, the receivers dropping balls. When you get distracted about all this other stuff, then you're distracted. But I believe the only thing you really have control over is what you put out on the field. That's the only thing you can really control at the end of the day. So I think to hear him talk about himself was really, really insightful. Um, I think to all the players on the team, because that's really ultimately the only thing that you can control is what you do out there. Despite whatever motivational, whatever that you can put out there can actually help other players. The only thing you really have control over is yourself. You know, that's just it is what it is. It is what it is. Um, let's we wanted to get John Baptiste in. Let me see if I can pull that one up because he was the one that was done after OTA. Um, so we'll try to get his interview up. I think he did an interview. He didn't do a press conference. I think he did an interview.
No, he did an interview.
Huh?
I want my real one.
I think he did I think he did a sit down. I don't think he did a press conference. I think he did like a sit down with Smoot and
Yeah,
them.
no, it was an interview. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. I think he did a sit down. So let's try to get
Yeah.
the last one up, which would be Jaden Daniels. I definitely wanted to hear some of what he had to say. I mean, little bit of the man of the hour, quote unquote. So we just get a little bit of what he had to say. Had about a 5-minute interview. Doug Williams.
We good?
Y'all hear Jake Daniels?
No.
Y'all can't hear it?
No.
Okay. Okay, so we're not getting none of the Jaden Daniels. Hold on. Let's get Jaden Daniels up here. Okay, you're right. You're right. It was muted.
But later down the road, that's goals I set for myself personally. But it just comes out with competing every day and get better each and every day.
What was the best part for you getting out here today?
Man, playing football again, being a part of the team, new teammates, new everything, and just going back and be able to practice and play the game that I love.
Jason, you've had a couple of weeks now to let being the quarterback of this franchise sink in. I wonder what thoughts you have now for leading this team, and have you had any conversations with Doug Williams about what it means to lead this Washington, D.C. fan base?
I mean, I had conversations with Doug ever since I met him when I was 18 years old. Always a good guy. Obviously, what he did for this organization, what he did for black quarterbacks in general, it means a lot. For me, it's not really just looking at like what can I do for the team. It's like how can I help the team get better each and every day, myself included.
It's been a lifelong goal. We talked 6 weeks ago at the pro day. We talked 2 weeks ago at the draft. What has that time been like for you? Has it been fast, slow, or
It's been fast. Obviously, pro day, doing pre-draft visits, and then obviously once you hear your name called, everything completely changed. I was able to live out my childhood dream, being in the pros. And now I'm here. Now I'm be able to go out here and dive into this playbook, trying to learn as much as possible, and go out there and try to get better each and every day.
How's it working with?
Yeah, yeah. We were uneducated on the gambling policy in the NFL. We learned about it last night. Me and him have a conversation, and we canceled the bet. Obviously, we don't want to get in trouble with anything, so we're just focused on being the best players for our respective teams.
Jaden, it's only day one, but how is everything going with Cliff, Tavita, getting into the offense? Like, how do you?
Man, it's fun. It's fun. Love it. I mean, just the open communication, open dialogue, having those guys around me. Obviously, I coached at the highest level, played too, so different set of eyes, man. So I'm trying to be a sponge and learn as much as possible.
Did you watch any of Kyler and Cliff in Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, I was at Arizona State at the time, so for sure. I just love watching football in general.
Jaden, you mentioned being a sponge. What do you think your biggest challenge is going to be integrating yourself into this franchise, into this team?
I mean, just going through the lumps of being a rookie and trying to learn how to be a pro. I mean, however that is, that's on the field, off the field, man. Just trying to learn as much as possible. I don't have a definitive answer for you. What I need to work on, I'm just trying to learn as much as possible.
Talk about wearing the number 5 and what does it mean to wear that 5 on your jersey from now, having it in college and now to having it in the pros? And what does it mean to you to wear that 5 on your jersey?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it's significant not only to me but to him also. So him allowing me to wear it, it meant a lot. That he was able to kind of just pass it to me, pass the torch, obviously with the agreements. But he didn't have to come off. He didn't have to come off the number. Obviously, what he did for he's a captain, All Pro Bowl player. So he means a lot to the DMV, to this organization. So for him to be able to allow me to wear a number, it just shows that he has my back, and he's excited, and that's what we talked about, and I'm excited to be his teammate.
How was it?
Three more around a couple, in and out here. You're from the fan base, rooting for this team down. The franchise been down for 2 decades plus.
Yeah, I mean, it's a franchise that's eager. Be able to go out there and try to help the team win football games. And obviously, it's new everything here, and the DMV, this fan base. Everybody they want to see wins. They want to see excitement, want to see joy. So, hopefully that we could go out there, we could do it as a Commanders franchise, as a team. But that's way down the road. We worry about rookie minicamp and practice tomorrow.
How comfortable are you with the playbook? This helmet and this jersey, stepping up to practice for the first time. How did that make you feel in that moment?
Man, it was awesome. I said be able to live out a childhood dream. Seeing my helmet, in my locker, obviously a jersey, come out and get to practice. You can't take these times for granted because at the end of the day, it's something that a lot of people work for. A lot of people will be able to achieve their dreams. So God bless me to be in this position, man. So I'm just happy.
What are your early impressions of just the playbook in general? What are your early impressions of just the playbook in general? I mean, is it an encyclopedia?
I mean, yeah, I would say any NFL playbook is encyclopedia, but it's day by day. Obviously, today was install 1. You can go out there and just try to master install 1, and go back, watch the tape. Tomorrow, master install 2. As I start getting more rest, start getting more comfortable. Keep building and expanding on that.
It's not just it's not just winning games, of course. It's also winning the locker room. How do you've been in this leadership role before? How do you kind of see yourself getting into that and kind of even when the best game, you're kind of paying that way?
Just being myself, being a hard worker. Don't try to be somebody I'm not. People see real from fake, authentic, and who's not. So just go out there, just be myself. Try to make connections. Talk to people. Obviously, I'm 23. It's a lot of different age ranges in this locker room. So try to relate as much as possible. Show them, I'm all about the team. I'm all about hard work, and I'm just here to get better each and every day. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Jaden.
Ben, we're going to try to bolt out of here. John, we're going to give it a try.
Jaden Daniels. That's Jaden Daniels, ladies and gentlemen. Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels. What do y'all got on Daniels? I mean, what do y'all think about that interview?
I mean, right now he's saying all the right things. He a rookie, so he right now has right now he's saying all the right things. You know, I'm glad that he did talk to Doug Williams, which is a good thing. Not only about being a professional quarterback, but being a black quarterback, being a black quarterback in DC too. Um, Doug ain't necessarily been everybody's favorite person around these parts lately, but I would say that him being, you know, the black quarterback that won the Super Bowl, the black quarterback, because he's other black quarterbacks that done it since and all of that, but he's the black guy, you know.
He has.
So,
He is. He
um,
is.
I really think that he showed a lot of maturity in this press conference. He showed that he's at least happy to be where he is. It was a lot of talks about he wanted to go to the Raiders with Pierce, with AP, you know, a wonderful coach, and can't take nothing from him. But I think he thinks that I think now that he's here, all of the love that he's been shown. I think that he's gotten a lot more comfortable and he's getting comfortable around the people, around the staff, around the coaches, around the players. And so I think that he said all the right things. But this is just one of his early press conferences. Let's see what happens when the heat get hot a little bit, you know, a loss or whatever the case may be. But so
See,
far, I think he said the right thing.
I want to say this though, and let me chime in and say this right now. All these players that come to Washington, don't think, oh, don't think this is a charity case. To where I'm going to a team, they ain't won in so long, they ain't this, they ain't that. I'm telling you now, we went to 4 Super Bowls in less than 10 years. This not a losing, even though we haven't won lately, this is not a losing organization. So you will get yourself confused thinking that we just begging for any old type of winner. That it don't work like that here. This is a city that wins, that that we understand how it feels to win, to go to
Well,
back-to-back Super Bowls, to win multiple championships under one
well
regime.
see, I'm well, I'm gonna just say that in that situation, I'm gonna just say in that situation, you gotta in that situation, you gotta be proactive and knowing that you are coming to a situation that's different. They
No,
have
I'm just
been
saying though,
in a
people would
while.
think that this is like Cleveland, who's never won a Super Bowl, or this is like one of the. This is not the same that type of scenario. This team has 3 Super Bowl championships. Understand that when you come here, you're coming to be a part of a legacy. You're not going to be the legacy. Understand that. So don't think this is poor old Washington. You will get yourself to make yourself think you're bigger than what you really are here. Because at the end of the day, this team has 3 rings. So even if you came here and won the Super Bowl first day, guess who they will be comparing you to? Those 80s Redskins. Period. So just don't confuse yourself, Jaden Daniels, or any other player that comes here to thinking that this is some poor organization who can't spot a winner from a loser. You'll really play yourself by doing that. You will play yourself. This organization, this fan base is a very proud fan base, and it's a very knowledgeable fan base when it comes to football. Don't play yourself. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't play yourself. And I ain't saying today I saw anything to say suggest anything. I'm not suggesting anything when I say that. That's more of a warning to those who don't know. This team has 3 rings, 3 championships, not 1, not 2, 3 championships already. Already. That's what you walk in the door. Just like we was talking about the Jordan dynamic, in regards to the Bulls legacy as a franchise. You're walking into that same thing, whomever that might come to Washington. This team has a legacy before you. Understand that. So this team knows what winning feels like. Don't think this is poor old Washington who's never won anything. Don't do that. You would play yourself, because the people who are around remember winning and remember what they're not that old, and it wasn't that long ago where they can't remember it ever being. No, it was short enough time to where people still remember, those rings. Just be honest. So don't play yourself. Don't play yourself. This team was good not too long ago. You know, long enough, but not too long ago that people still remember. People still remember. No, I just wanted to just see what y'all thought. Anybody else got something on Jaden Daniels? His interview?
Nah, that's about all.
That's about it. Yeah, again, I don't want to do too much. Jaden Daniels, overall, it was a great interview. I think that a lot of what he's saying is exactly what you said. He should be saying as a rookie quarterback. Being a rookie is not going to be an excuse around here, though. It's not going to be an excuse. Trust me. The fan base expects you to play high level football, regardless of whether you was a rookie, second year, third year, whatever. When you step on that field, you're going to be judged the same. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not going to lie to you with that. So that don't look for no excuses out of this fan base. You're not getting any. And if you think it's a game, look at how they did Sam Howell last year. Just a prime example. Dwayne Haskins. We've had our set of young quarterbacks around here. Heath Schuler, Jason Campbell, Gus Farad. We've had our set of young quarterbacks around here. Trust. So you're not getting any excuses. We've seen them all come and go. You're not getting any excuses. First year, second year, third year, fifth year, you're going to be judged exactly the same. You're not getting that pass. I'm not going to even lie to you. So, that's all I want to say as far as the Jaden Daniels in general. I just want you to understand that. And for any other player that's on the roster, no one cares what year you came into the league. The fact that you're in there and you have a jersey on, that's all we care about. What you do now. What you did before you got there, how young you are, how whatever excuse you came up in your head with to think that the Redskin fans really nobody cares. Nobody. Sorry to say it like that, but this is officially the Nature Sports Podcast. You're welcome to the NFL moment. It's happening with us in the summertime, back in June, so that you don't have to have them in September. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're hurt. If you're on the field playing, you're playing. So nobody cares if you're hurt. Nobody cares if you got into it with your girl. Nobody cares if something happened to your mother. Sorry to say, knock on wood. Hopefully that happens to nobody this year. But nobody's gonna care. You're gonna have to go out there and play every time you step on that field. Blood, sweat, and tears. Nobody's gonna care. You're not getting any passes. None of y'all. If you don't want to be out there, don't be out there. But you're not getting any passes once you're out there. You can't after the fact this. You better speak up from the get-go. Because once that bell hit, that whistles blow, that shotgun go off, whatever it is that marked the beginning of the game, you better be ready when the lights come on. You better be ready. Because you're going to be judged harshly, each and every one of you. You're going to be judged with the maximum critique there is known to man. The maximum. Every single player. There's not one person who will go without judgment. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just kidding. We like to replay plays. We like to pause them. Oh, we do all of that on the Nature Show. We pause it. You missed the block. Oh, yeah, it's going to be noted that you missed the block. We call you out by name. Call you out by number. Call you out by position. We're going to do that. I'm going to keep it real. Somebody else might sell you some dreams, but no. And then, honestly, including Jaden Daniels, people hyped you up, bruh. People hyped you up. You got to make good on them bets. People hyped you up. They said you was the real deal. You can't show anything other than that, or you're going to get dragged pretty bad. I'm going to keep it real. And look, somebody else might say you some Washington dreams. I ain't serving today. I'm just giving you the truth. you gonna have to make good on them bets, or the people that bet with you gonna talk the worst about you.
Nah, I'm gonna be positive, man.
No, you ain't. No, you ain't.
I am.
Why
The
you roasting my man already, man?
only
Damn.
downside, man, is that he'll be going into the season at 24, and I would wish that my quarterback was a little bit younger. But guess what? If he came into the draft at 30, if he's ready and is capable of winning now, I'd rather have that quarterback over anybody that doesn't present that longevity.
Right. Okay. Now, but I'm talking about the average DC fan ain't gonna give a damn. I mean, the average person the average DC football fan is not the average one. Yeah, the average fan now is a casual fan. They don't even care about all that. All they know is what you did on Sunday. Tell me I'm lying.
Nah, of course. Or what you did for their parlay.
Yeah, or what you did for their parlay. They don't give a goddamn about what happened, why you couldn't do it, who your coach was or wasn't, what happened in the front office, who didn't block, who didn't do that. They don't give a goddamn. What did you do on Sunday? Did y'all win or lose? That's the first thing. That's the first thing. Did you win? Or if you won, even if you ain't hit the parlay, if you won, they could work with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you lost, then it's nothing you can say. I don't care if you lose by 1. I don't care if you lose by half a point, a midget of a point, a point of a point. It don't matter. You got that L. It's hard for you to say anything. They ain't trying to hear it.
Nah, I do believe if these guys compete at a really good level and can show fans that the culture has changed based on, like I say, coaching decisions. Again, everything in the NFL is about execution. I've watched, 2 full seasons go with teams underperform against their counterparts, and they're either one score, if not leading, at the end of the game against teams that just decided to play a little bit better. Um, I'm really excited about what we have in store. Again, I'm not overly excited where I don't remember our past as far as a Redskins fan, or looking at what changes we are trying to make and that they haven't made it to the field yet. What's the worst case scenario on the defense? Different things. I'm just waiting to see OTAs and preseason. The film, I believe, is going to tell all of the tale. I think that we're going to get a chance to see some good football around here this year, and that's the biggest and most important thing to me. The Dubs are going to follow that. I'm sure about it.
I agree with you. But again, I don't see Washington fans giving a damn. I think it's gonna be more trash talking if things don't go right than what y'all have ever seen before in the history of the game, in the history of the team. I think the trash, if it don't go right, I think the trash talk is going to be merciless. I think it's going to be, I mean, and this ain't that the team merciless. I think it's going to be widespread infighting, widespread. I'm keeping it real. I think it's gonna be widespread infighting, widespread disrespect amongst the fans. Amongst the fans, it's gonna be very disrespectful. It's gonna be very disrespectful. Disrespectful. It's gonna be. I mean, I'm sorry. I just think it's gonna be a good old a good old fashioned S show. A good old fashioned. I'm just keeping it real. A good old fashioned S show. A good old fashioned.
If it's a good old fashioned S show and we still win the game, that's a good Sunday.
Yeah, but I'm saying if the wins don't come, that's when it's gonna get bad. I'm sorry, it's gonna be a meltdown.
So here's the thing. Even in a reverse season that I'm sure we're all disappointed about, and maybe they were tanking, they still didn't do enough to get the first pick.
Right, but I'm gonna keep it real though. This year be different because there's too many people that didn't talk trash. Too many people didn't put their necks on the line. Next is already on the line. Next is already out there. Next and more is already out there. People that already put their neck and everything else up.
Who neck is on the line?
Everybody, I'm telling you, bro. Everybody put their neck out there. Next is all out there.
I do got $100 cowboy bet already.
See there? So if these people don't go out there and look like something, it's gonna be a problem. I mean, you gonna see despair around these spots like you ain't never seen before because
you said despair.
Nobody told these people to hype this fan base up like that.
Despair is diabolical.
Yeah. Despair. That's the only way to describe it. It's gonna be that bad around these spots, boy. And the vitriol that's gonna go against that's gonna go against the team. The vitriol, the pure unadulterated vitriol that's gonna go against the team is gonna be bad. You know what I mean? You're gonna have the fans, you a turncoat fan, you a Fairweather fan, the ones that call people Fairweather's fans, they gonna come out in groves, you know.
Well, I think at this point, what will be brought up is teams will look at Kingsbury's, if it's the offense, they will look at Kingsbury's record as a head coach. They will look at Dan Quinn's record at the first year.
Up the Super Bowl. You already know what most
No, maybe not the Super Bowl, but maybe the first year for Dan Quinn. Like
they gonna bring up that 23-3 Super Bowl. They would say if a guy lost that, then how you expect him to win anything else? That's what these are fair weather fans. You got to remember that. These are casuals. So the casuals go to what's widely known. What's your worst day? That's where the casuals go to, your worst day. That's just what they do. They don't know too much about you, so they gonna go to what everybody know. Your worst day. That's where the casuals going. I'm gonna keep it real, Washington. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know I ain't telling no lies. Y'all know goodness will. This gotta go right. This gotta go right early too. This because you will lose the fan. If you go 0-4, for instance, you lost the fan base. Fan base gone. That's too late. That's too late to start trying to win games. If you start out 0-4, you can hang it up. They gone already. They gone already. Ain't no hope. Matter of fact, if you start out 0-2, it might not be no hope. A lot of people gonna give up. Like y'all always say, the old regime, the same old, same old. That's what we always talk about. The old regime and the same old, same old. It's gonna remind a lot of people of the old regime and the same old, same old. If this team starts out 0-2, especially if you start out 0-3. In fact, and I'm calling this now. That Tampa Bay game in the beginning is a must-win game.
No, that's an away game.
Hey, even if it's away, it's a must-win. It's a must-win.
I think the expectation for a rookie quarterback is out of this world.
I don't think he's being judged. He's going to be judged as a rookie. He's going to be judged as the quarterback, period. I don't got the rookie, like for instance.
Only way you win rookie of the year is being one first year NFL quarterback. Whether they look at you like one, Mahomes was talked about as if he was a veteran. If you're a first year quarterback, you're a first year quarterback.
I agree.
Stroud, his performance was out of this world. It was one of the best performances the best performance of any rookie quarterback ever coming into this league. You know how hard it is pressure to match that or have a better year the second year out for Stroud. I am excited that our quarterback wants to play football. I'm excited that our quarterback is putting in the work. So I'm not saying that your projection is wrong. I'm just saying also understand that, hey, we've got to project something too on the, on the other side.
Right. Nah, I agree. But I just think that this is a uphill climb already because of what he's coming into. And so just listening to him talk, it makes me realize he really don't know what he's coming into. Like he really don't understand nothing about stuff that happened here. And I know he said he been talking to Doug Williams since he was 18 years old. I get it, right? I get it. Daniels said he been talking.
Man, you gotta think about Joe, bruh. You gotta think about Joe Burrows, bruh. And even outside of Joe Burrows transferred
Well,
from Ohio went to LSU.
Cincinnati ain't Washington. Cincinnati is not Washington.
Cincinnati is not Washington, but I think that the division is just as difficult as what Cincinnati's got. They've got a difficult division.
I agree with that part.
Our division is just as difficult, and I think you look at it like the way that the Browns did. If you win that division, you should feel like you have an opportunity to compete against whoever is coming out of whatever division to win, because your 6 games against your division should be very tough.
But I'm gonna say this difference is though here in Cincinnati, the fan base gonna be behind you. Here, you will have people turn on you just because you the quarterback of the Redskins. You get a lot of negative. You get a lot of negative, maybe more negative than you do positive as the quarterback of the Redskins. It's a difference, especially as a black quarterback of the Redskins too.
Well, you got to remember that also fans aren't necessarily the smartest. And this is no shade to all fans. This is just shade to the ones who are, like you said, casuals and just don't know some of the other things. You got teams that are receiving teams that are running teams. We have no idea what this running game is going to look like. You know what I'm saying? And the way that Kingsbury was talking, the way that Brian Robinson was talking, Eckler could be running back 1 all he wants to. I almost want to say that I feel like Robinson may be the one to get the bulk of the carries.
I think so too.
I think you use the young legs. You know what I'm saying? I think you take advantage of Eckler's experience where you can, but I think you use the young legs of Robinson. And if Eckler has that burst still that you can see in practice or during the game week, I think you definitely inquire and add both of those guys during that game. But I feel like you've got to give Brian Robinson the lead way on that one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree totally. I think that Robinson could end up having the bulk of the carries. You know, just he's one of those players that you could say you're not going to give him the ball but so many times during a game. But if he's the only thing working, he's the only thing working. You can give him the rock. And he has enough tenacity to where even if you have bad play calling, his energy sometimes will make a play work where it was nothing there before. And he's one of the rare guys that I think who has that ability on this offense. I don't think Terry McLaurin has that ability. I don't think even Johan Dotson doesn't have that. I believe Brian Robinson may be the only player where his energy by itself can garner positive yardage when he gets the ball, even if the play call is bad.
Okay.
So that's where I think he'll get the bulk of his carries, even if they didn't go into the game saying, hey, we're going to give this guy this. I think it's going to come a point in time where his stuff is going to be the only thing that's working.
You talking about Jay?
No, Brian Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah. So I just think it's gonna be times during the game where it's like they're not going to be able to do anything other than him. That's why he'll get a lot of carries in those portions, because I think his energy, his own energy that he brings by itself, it's going to be what gives those yards at that time. I don't think it's going to be nothing the play calling can do.
Yeah, he's a pretty good runner as well.
So that's just, from his perspective, when it comes to Brian Robinson. But again, I don't know, man. This fan base gonna be cold though. I know they're gonna be cold this year because it's backs already been bet. Backs already been bet. Backs already been bet. And this ain't even July. This ain't even June. And people is already got the farm out there for sale.
Going away $100.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying now. So Jaden Daniels, you don't get no excuse because guess what? There ain't nobody gonna say, "Oh, he was a rookie quarterback. Give me my money back." Ain't nobody saying that. So you're not going to get that excuse, even if you get it initially. When people have to pay out because they lost the bet messing with you, they gonna forget you a rookie. You'll be something else. You'll be the bum ass quarterback who play for the Redskins. That's gonna be your nickname. I'm just keeping it real. Keeping it real, baby. You know. So all right. This we got through all the interviews. We're gonna go through the final thoughts. See what y'all got leading up to. This was the end of OTAs. Next thing is I guess the preseason or some sort of pre camp, right? Mini camp or something like that is probably the next thing. So we've made it through the draft process. We've made it through free agency. Everybody picking up little nicks and knacks, but nobody really doing nothing too big. Overall, what's your final thoughts on all the process up until this point, leading into what would be the mini camp? Swinging around the room. You got something, big son? Point. All right, Vito, what you got? You got something?
Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, leading up to mini camp, I think these guys have done whatever job that you had in your mind that they should do or should have done. They didn't do it. They did what they wanted to do at the end of the day, right? And so we all have had our opinions. We've all spewed our opinions out there with some sort of move. Maybe if not this move, but maybe that move. But everybody has had something to say, mostly around this Washington football team. But ultimately, Adam Peters did what he wanted to do. My only thing is hold that man responsible for the results. Hold that man responsible for the results. He made his decisions. He did what he wanted to do. He did whatever that he said or he thought was good or whatever he claimed is whatever he claimed. I don't care nothing about the bones. Give me the meat. What actually happened? And that's no foul. But what actually happened? Don't tell me about, oh, this could have, but this made this work and or this didn't allow this. I don't want to hear none of that. What happened after all of this? That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'll remain with it. This is all good fun and games, good conversation. But ultimately, how many games did you win at the end of that season is the only thing that's going to matter. To me, at least, and to a lot of people. What did you win? What did you lose? That's the only thing that's going to matter. That's the only thing that should matter. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that should matter. Big son, if you're still with us, either way, that's the only thing that should matter on my front. How many games did you win when it was all said and done? How many games did you lose when it was all said and done? We could talk about whatever we want to talk about. That doesn't make it valid. It don't make it valid. Despite anything that anybody has to say, it doesn't make it valid. So, with that being said, it's another Workhorse Wednesday. Y'all listening to the Nature Sports Podcast here on the new 24-hour live channel stream for the studio runners. Notice the live YouTube screen. So for everybody who is watching on Twitter, this station will continue on Facebook, Instagram, and the other stations. It will go off. We got some new programs coming up for y'all afterwards. Got the good word from Malcolm X. One of his last interviews that was done. Then afterwards, we also got The top 100 gadgets for 2024. Get your gadget on, which will run us right into AM R&B for the AM network here on Studio Runners. You know, so make sure y'all tune in. Keep y'all in there. Final thoughts. We do got to score the fight coming up. I believe maybe this weekend. Saturday, we do got to score the fight coming up. So want to keep y'all locked in on that as well. However, you have been listening to the Nature Sports Podcast. This is my final thoughts. See y'all next weekend. Oh, it's actually Monday. See y'all Monday. This Monday was Memorial Day, so y'all didn't get a show this Monday. So we definitely gonna get back with y'all next Monday. You know, keep it tight. Keep it in there. So that was the final thoughts. Skip on out of here. Checking out ETA Money Row. Wednesday Workhorse. Signed out for the guys for Uptown Vito. Big Son. Point B. Signed out for the guys. Got Big Son up here. Might do, might don't. Well, I'm going to sign it out for the guys. Workhorse. See y'all next week.
Today, in our discussion of minority groups, we have with us two guests. One is Minister Malcolm X. Shabazz, one of the top leaders of the Nation of Islam, or the so-called Black Muslims. And we also have Mr. Herman Blake, one of the teaching assistants in the course. We will discuss today some of the goals and some of the strategies of the Nation of Islam. And I wonder if Mr. Blake might start it off by asking Mr. Shabazz a question.
Minister Malcolm, the thing that I thought might be good for starting it off is to talk about one of the most pervasive beliefs in the general society about the Nation of Islam, and that is that it is an organization dedicated to the use of violent means to attain its goals. The question I have is, how true is this, and why do you think it persists in society?
Well, the Muslims who have accepted the religion of Islam and follow the religious guidance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad have never bombed any churches, have never murdered any little girls, as was done in Birmingham, have never lynched anybody, have never at any time been guilty of initiating any aggressive acts of violence. During the entire 33 years or more that the